Jill handed you an emerald eye pendant and said if you ever want to talk to him again, just give the pendant to a Boggle, and the Boggle and Durgil will come find you. Boobadoo. What else happened? Durgil asked you to dispose of Oisius's body, and Christine critted on a persuasion check, so now Durgil has to pay you a magic item for hauling out the body of the person you killed in Durgil's tent, which is going to happen in 3 days. Ianto, you investigated Oisius's eye and figured out you was some kind of connection between magic, crystals, and Oisius's actual life force to display imagery. And you guys left the sewer. You ran into 2 Bodaks, hunched over a elven figure with sparkling silvery skin. The figure was dead. The Bodaks were trying to suck out its soul. You guys fought the Bodaks off and killed them. And then you guys headed up back into Armina to get the sewer stake off of you at a bathhouse. There were bathhouse shenanigans, but we didn't roleplay them because I refused to do that. And what else did we do?
All we need to know was were they co-ed?
Yeah,
okay.
We didn't do the filler episode where you try to look into the girl's bathhouse. Like, nah.
It's always in that hole.
Ianto went to check on Dr. Roscoe, who was actually kind of standoffish and rude to Ianto, which Ianto thought was weird. But said Dr. Roscoe said he would have concrete information for you guys the next day, and y'all headed over to Madame Ava to kind of get some information. Madame Ava helped get those 3 glowing red dots out of that crystal, so you could turn them into potions of short rest. Excuse me, I'm burping. And then she also gave you some fortune teller information about Boreas and Avina. Does anyone have any questions?
Just as a note, if we choose to use those potions of short rest, they're like we're not supposed to use them. It's kind of bad if we do. They're from like a location that worships them, so keep that in mind.
Yes, Madame Ava told you it came with great pain and suffering, and it belonged in a place called Cinderwisp Forest. Okay, any other questions or things that you guys need to figure out? Or things that are confusing to you as a player? No, we feel good? Cool. So we're going to pick up with it having passed to nighttime, back at the Gibbons Armory. You guys are sitting around the table. Avina comes in. She mentions rather offhandishly that Dr. Roscoe's acting kind of strange. He seems underslept. He seems like he's not sleeping. And she sits down and takes a drink. What are y'all doing?
Well, we're waiting on a magic item and Dr. Roscoe right now, so let's go hang out with Roscoe unless you guys have other errands that you need assistance to run. We can do some work while we wait if needed, but...
I'll ask... sorry, hold on, I gotta remember how to do this voice.
Wait, this is a voice?
Yeah, I got a voice.
Oh, there you go.
There it is. Alright, I'm back. So, wait, Roscoe's acting weird? What do you mean? Like, what kind of weird?
There's bags under his eyes. He keeps looking over his shoulder and jumping at the slightest sound. I don't know. It's like something seriously spooked him.
Well, yeah. I'm assuming we're like private talking right now, like some.
Yeah, the no one's listening on you as far as you know.
I was like, well, yeah. We gave him the book. He's obviously gonna be jumpy. Like, look at what Boreas can do. He's probably maybe even contacted him. We should probably check on Roscoe. It's probably not safe to leave anybody alone with that thing.
Yeah, you all remember me when I started looking at that book.
Avina kind of cautiously nods, and then she also turns to Vixaris. Who is that?
What's up?
Avina, this is Vix. She is a paid mercenary, I guess, that helped us out in the downstairs. So she's good.
Yeah.
She's good.
I'm alright.
Okay, she's just all right. You're right. Yeah, I was trying to play it up, but we've acquired her services for the foreseeable future.
Well, I mean, we're about to try to collect 7 seals. Race. Blah, blah, blah. We're about to race a very powerful organization to collect 7 seals. We could use as much help as we can get. So I'm not complaining. And she shakes your hand, Vixaris.
Yeah. You like the sturdy squeeze.
Oh, make a strength check.
Not like trying to hurt her, but you know.
Prove your
See if she
worth.
squeezes. Yeah, prove your worth. I critted.
Oh.
The meeting of minds.
Oh my
The meeting
God.
of minds. Wait, what's Avina's strength mod?
Avina doesn't have. Avina's probably. Vixaris is actually probably stronger because Avina is not
Nice.
strength based. So.
Oh yeah, I guess Vixar is like wing scepter. No.
Okay,
table
cool. Good way to
breaks.
start it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
It's so true. It's so true.
I was actually thinking the Arnold and Carl
is
Weathers.
that the aliens one?
I think it was
The
Predator.
Yeah.
Predator.
All right, cool. Are you guys going to head off to Roscoe's tonight, or are you wait until the morning when he said to come meet him?
Let's surprise him. Not feeling good, we can cheer him up.
Yeah, I think we took the night off just because of how much we got
We
our
healed.
ass
So this
kicked.
is day 2. We healed last night. We did some stuff today, and now it's nighttime.
And now it's morning.
No, now it's
okay,
nighttime.
I'm fine
Oh
with
wait, I
that.
thought this was.
And also
this-
to bathe.
Yeah, we definitely got a long rest.
Yeah, we
in, so
definitely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is.
So this is the same day that Roscoe said come back tomorrow. Are you guys planning on going there tonight? Then is that what I'm hearing?
Wait, if he told us to come the next day, then
I'd like to just stake out Roscoe's place and see if there's anything funky going down, because
yeah,
that
I
is
feel
what
like
we need that
shouldn't-
book. So if we're not gonna
Yeah,
visit him,
okay.
we need to be around him, keeping watch.
Cool. So you
Yeah.
feel a little bit nervous. You kind of get up. You look around to
Wait,
make sure. Go ahead,
Did his apprentice leave? Or
Avina.
is she still sitting? Avina?
She's still sitting there with you guys.
Okay. I'm just gonna watch her till she leaves.
Okay, she says. She's like, well, I mean, not much I can do to help, so I'm gonna get some rest. And she goes upstairs, and falls to sleep.
Have a good night. Yeah, let's take this place out.
Yeah, so you know Dr. Roscoe the best. Do you want to go inside and the rest of us will keep watch outside, or?
I don't think it would be a good idea to approach him until our the time we agreed to meet him. If there is something going on with him, I
You
think
he's dangerous?
our approaching him suspicious with suspicion would only exacerbate the issue.
Well, he doesn't know me, right? I could go in, see if anything's afoot.
That's not a bad idea. One of us could introduce you to him if necessary. I'm
What
I'm
kind of
concerned
professor
with
is he?
our.
We could actually, that's not a terrible idea. We could go in with the apparent intent to basically introduce our new associate to the book,
Yeah, I think.
rather than, tell him we're there to check up on him.
Exactly. I think my biggest concern is with Boreas, because he can just be in and out, no problem. You know what I mean? We wouldn't even know if he could teleport
What-
in.
What's a Boreas?
A very powerful wizard, almost evaporated me and Bevy, and well, really all of us. But
Mm,
Vix, you did hear Oisius mention that Boreas was watching through the through Oisius, and that Oisius did mention that to the party. Boreas had one of the seals, so you have
oh,
heard
okay,
the,
okay.
you have heard the name Boreas before.
Did
No,
I get
that's-
the impression that Roscoe is also kind of a powerful guy?
he was eaten by a fucking plant.
Make an
dog.
Arcana check.
Not to say that plant wasn't strong, but he was eaten by a plant when we found him.
He's sturdy, but is he? Oh, Okay.
I mean,
Is he
his
a wizard?
magic items seem to be pretty cool, but you couldn't really tell anything about him.
Okay. I guess I'd say, considering he has a big magical workshop, it's safe to assume that he has wards for.
Okay, again, I understand that as well, but if he's under the influence of Boreas, acting suspiciously, we need to ensure that he's alright. We can go introduce Vix, and we can go and offer our assistance in the matter. And we'll
Right.
see where he'll probably shoo us out, but it'll give us an idea of what's going on inside at the very least.
I mean, he's a doctor. You could come in like you're hurt or something, and he can treat you. That could be a good introduction.
Oh, okay.
You want to take one for the team? And I pull out my moonlight. It's like a short sword. Hold out your arm.
She pulls out a dagger and just slashes
Ah!
her.
Wait, he's not that kind of doctor!
Yeah, need I remind you that this guy had a
What?
machine for drilling into people's skulls? Or whatever it was?
So
Yeah.
he's more. What?
Everyone but Christine would know that Roscoe's more of an archaeologist than a medical doctor.
I thought. Why did he offer to cut me with that
I
short
thought-
sword?
Man, I thought we were brainstorming.
First off, Bevy is a woman, okay? Right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right,
I'm sorry.
Bevy?
It
Bevy,
changes
has that
day to
changed,
day.
actually?
Yes.
Yeah. What are we at?
I don't know. I did get jacked up. I don't
Roll
know.
for reproduction.
Yeah, you want me to I'll roll a percentile dice. How about that?
Cool. Let's say if it's low, it's male. If it's high, it's female.
Okay.
Well, what are your preferred pronouns, Bevy?
they vary.
If it's close to 50, I'm going with they, them.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely on one end of the spectrum then.
Yeah.
Wait, was that
I think
feminine?
high was feminine.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
feeling a lot of estrogen
Yeah.
flowing.
Most
I
of
mean-
the things making. Did Vix learn what Bevy is yet?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think if we've decided to trust this person, or if she's been hanging out with us a lot, she's figured out something's going on, right?
Yeah.
I've been knocked unconscious. I'm sure I don't maintain that
It
too
turned
well.
into a bunch of rats.
It was a big puddle in the sewers.
Yeah, people don't turn to puddles when they're knocked out. I don't think.
I'm pretty sure I can tell what you are, though it's wild.
Yeah, it changes every day. So whatever you want to call me, it gets confusing. I understand.
Sure, I'll just say, whatever you prefer. Just let me know. All right, so, yeah,
So it
why did she offer to cut me? Didn't explain that.
Oh, out of character, it's because Baby's dumb and doesn't. I heard doctor, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's probably medical.
Damn it, I'm a dumb. Maybe I'm as dumb as Bevy. Shit.
All right, but it sounds like you've all made a plan to go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. So I don't know. Wrapping up your wound, Christine. Maybe take 2 damage or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm slicing
I'll
up your
lay on
hand.
hands. That shit. As we're walking over, I just roll my eyes.
Hold on a second.
No, Rosie.
All right. So, nighttime in Armina seems a lot quieter, as you've realized, than daytime. It seems like everyone's a little more comfortable coming out in the daytime, but being that there are actually no lawmen in Armina, nighttime is a little less safe. Every once in a while, a single shadowy figure kind of passes you and tries to not make eye contact as it hurries across the streets and ducks into an alleyway. Everyone actually roll me a survival check to see if you can find your way back to Roscoe's thing, his hideout.
I've
Wait, we
never
know
been
where
there.
it is, right?
You do, but in the darkness, it's actually kind of hard to find your way through the city.
Looks like we're gonna get lost. Oh,
Oh no, someone rolled a
I did
19.
good.
Also,
Yeah.
Vixaris wouldn't know where it is in the first place.
No better than Bevy.
That's all of us, right? Shit, yeah, there's like...
Yes. It looks like everyone else doesn't seem to be able to figure out where they're going except for Damien, who, due to his life patrolling the streets of Waterdeep, is actually well equipped with navigating Dark City streets. Sorry, I'm doing other things. Shoko's gonna stay behind in this. She's gonna go to bed. She's not part
That's
of
fine.
this, so she's not
Sure.
with you guys.
You don't want me to play another
Um,
character? I could just, just kidding.
We don't want you here, Shoko.
We want you to role play talking to yourself.
Again, let's do it.
Yeah. And you guys do finally find your way to Dr. Roscoe's laboratory, a rather unassuming door in a back alley that you do remember. You alone, Damien, seem to remember the special knocks and special kind of ways that you need to get into. There are a large amount of like arcane words as the door finally opens, and I'm gonna pull you all to another map. Give me a second.
Ben,
Go ahead.
before it opens, can I have Divine Sense up?
Sure. Would Divine Sense? Do you have to choose what your?
No. I
No?
would just. Yeah, we've talked about this. I just need to. It just tells me if fiends or an evil presence is around.
Is
Fey,
it
fiend,
Fey,
undead.
demons, and fiends? Yeah. So you, Vixaris, you actually sense a rather small Fey
Oh,
creature,
hold on. It
not in front of you,
I'm
but
sorry,
behind
I'm thinking
you.
of a different one. It is Celestial, Fiend, and Undead.
Oh, then you don't sense
My bad.
anything and forget what
I thought it was the, there's a channel divinity for a paladin that gets Fey. Sorry.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
if it's,
okay.
I assume the boggles are always there, so there's always Fae.
Yeah. The boggles are like the sewer rats of the
Fuck
city.
those things, dude. I fucking hate them. But they're okay now because they like us. Wait, well, I guess
I mean, we let Bevy in the group, so.
I would like.
How dare you?
Knowing there are boggles around, would I percept before doing all the cool secret knocks and stuff? Because like I don't want
She
anybody
says
to know
before.
that.
Up to you. Make
Yeah,
a perception
I'm
check
gonna
if
do
you
that. I'll
like.
take a peek around. I don't do a great job, but
You, as far as you know, you can't sense
cool.
anything.
I look around, I do the secret knock, and we head in.
I say that, but I'm also not even in the group yet.
The door opens to the rather familiar laboratory of one Dr. Roscoe, a room that seems much bigger on the inside than outside. Perhaps Dr. Roscoe is using connections to the ethereal plane and pocket dimensions in order to keep his hideout safe. As you guys open, you hear a loud crash. For all of these special kind of wards and such, it seems like the only actual alarm for people entering the right way is a crash box that falls to the floor to make a loud noise with the alarm spell.
I'll just yell, "Hey, Dr. Roscoe, it's us."
Before you do that, you do hear a little yelp and a small thud. Sounds like he fell off the step stool as he comes out. He looks a lot more haggard than the last time you guys saw him. You know, eyes are sunken in, clothing's probably a little disheveled. As he's a dwarf, so you know his beard grows he has a beard already, but maybe it's a little more unkempt than normal. He merely nods and continues over to his table where the blood book lays open.
We just wanted to introduce you to a new addition to our group here.
Dr. Roscoe, the rest of you kind of remember him as this curious guy. The minute he meets somebody, he's sort of like, oh, I need to know everything about you. I need to know if you have magical properties. I want to measure the bridge of your nose, those kinds of weird things. And so it all seems rather strange to you when Vixaris waves her hand and he kind of just looks up and nods and then puts his head back in the blood book.
I like this guy.
I kind of want to like go up to him and like kind of lower the book and take a look at his face. Can I do an insight?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, can I do a medicine check while this is happening to see if he's like being afflicted by a disease or something?
Sure.
Also, I've dealt with Boreas before. Do I think that this guy's being influenced by him?
You can make insight with advantage. Yato. So, in order, Damien, other than telling he's rather mentally shaken, you can't tell anything. Bevy, you look down and and he jumps the second you put your hand near him. Seems like something has seriously spooked him to you. Ianto, this seems very familiar to you. This, like they're your first night with the book, and you remember that in subsequent nights with the book, there were times where you felt your mind slipping away for a second, but were able to maintain yourself. Looks like Dr. Roscoe was not so lucky.
So it's just with dealing with the book itself and not.
As far as you can tell, this looks very similar to the influences you were beginning to feel when you were looking at the book.
Okay. So we wanted to show our new associate our findings, this item that we've discovered. Would you mind?
He stares at you, rather gruff, and grunts before picking the book up and heading over to Vixaris. He hands you Vixaris. He hands you a book with shiny red lettering in a language you've never seen before, and he asks you, "Can you read this?"
No.
Grunt and rather, matter of fact, he says, "Give me your finger."
I look at the others.
He's gonna prick your finger. It's yeah.
Okay, she takes off her glove and offers her right hand.
Cool.
He's getting cut a lot.
Yeah, he takes a small scalpel and nicks your finger and drains your blood on the book. And then he actually slams your hand down in the book to make a fingerprint-esque. Vixaris, you find it rather unusual. It seems like your blood is rather hydrophobic when it comes to this book. It does not stick to the paper. It instead slides right off. However, no other strange effects seem to happen to you. You're not as good as Avina.
Oh, well.
If I recall, I lent you my entire pint of blood. That you don't really need more, do you?
There's a couple chapters I'm still trying to let's say uncover. It seems like this book, every time I try to read one page, the letters begin to change. It's almost like it doesn't want me to read it. But I came up with a solution. And you see him hold the book open, take a blank piece of paper, sandwich it in the book, and slam the book down and open, essentially imprinting with the blood onto a blank and normal page. As such, he has, next to the book, it seems like a bunch of loose leaf pages all over the table, all covered in this blood lettering.
I take a look at the pages.
They're jumbled and out of order, but if you make I'll say history check or perception check, I'll give you a paragraph of what one of them says. Is anyone else doing anything while this is happening?
I want to kind of subtly go over to Damien and say to him, for a man we found unfazed being inside of a plant of death, he seems a little skittish right now. We found him in a crypt under the ground inside of a plant, but now he's scared. Should we be concerned?
Yeah, you see Damien's actually like sort of sitting down and marking the ground a little bit, and is doing sort of a ritual spell, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a little concerned. It's definitely unusual to say the least. I'm gonna take like 10 minutes to do a detect magic ritual.
Cool. Go ahead.
I do it. We agree, so I do it.
Cool. A lot of things kind of light up in the general vicinity, including the book, which seems to light up the brightest, as long as some small magical items on your friends. Yep. He does not seem to be suffering ill effects, but rather seems to be suffering from what you're now assuming lack of sleep and exhaustion starting to take its toll on his mental well-being.
Yep. I just basically want to. I'll go around the room, and anything unusual, I'll take note of. But specifically, I'm looking for like invasive spells. I think there's a sensor, not like a sensor that appears. If we're being scryed on, there's like a little orb or something that you can sense or something like that.
Yes, but actually, it does seem like he has wards protecting him from
Okay,
these
perfect,
kinds of
cool,
spells.
sweet.
So he is well equipped to prevent someone like Boreas. In your opinion, from the magic you can tell, he's well equipped to avoid having people look in on what he's
Cool.
doing.
In that case, I will just give him like a lesser restoration. I guess that sounds kind of good, right? That make it doesn't technically make him feel better, but
There is a spell I think that you clerics can do. Isn't there that can get rid of the frightened condition or the exhausted
frightened?
condition?
Yes.
Exhausted
Frightened
is greater.
yeah. Frightened I can do. No, I can't do that. Nope. Just a lesser restoration is just blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Cool.
Maybe remove.
You do it, and while it doesn't seem to do anything, it does seem to kind of give him a deep breath. Oop, I'm shrinking everyone on
Do I
accident.
think this is a curse? Probably not. No, he's just tired.
No, it's literally probably 2 to 3 days of sleep
Cool.
deprivation.
Yeah, I just don't have that, so it's fine. I'll pat him on the shoulder,
Yeah.
cast guidance, and say, "You're doing good, bud."
You're here early, he says. I haven't put the story in order. But I think I know where at least the next seal is, and then I'll be able to translate and figure out the next handful by the time you collect the second one.
Well, what about this? What if you get some sleep, and my boy over here, Ianto, he likes books and paper and all. How about he orders it for you?
You actually see Professor Roscoe stare rather angrily and afraid at Ianto specifically. You can make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Okay.
Wait, why is
maybe-
he scared of me?
It is a confusing thing for you. You can make an insight check.
Six.
Bevy, as you make the suggestion, all of a sudden, Dr. Roscoe slams his hands down and says, "No, not him, not him." And Ianto, you look eyes at Roscoe being like, "What? I'm just standing here doing nothing." And then you begin to realize that Roscoe looks the most afraid when he stares at you. It seems like your presence is unnerving him. As you look closer, you see he's trying to mutter something to himself when he looks at you.
Do I hear the mutterings?
Yeah.
You can make a perception check. Anyone around the table can make a perception check.
Advantage to hear.
Can I make an investigation?
Sure.
Natural 20.
Everyone except Ianto sees him. Ianto, you're too struck by the fact that he's staring you down, terrified, to realize everyone else kind of hears there say, "You're not real. You're not real. I know you're not real. You're not real." As he stares at Ianto.
Oh, that is unsettling. Okay.
I guess I move my perception to Ianto. I examine him for an illusion. What do I roll?
You're with that exact same illusion. You know, Ianto is the same Ianto you've been working with and trust.
So I'll walk over to Ianto and I'll put my arms around him, sort of, and smush his clothes and move it around a little bit. I'm like, "Nope, you're you." And not explain anything to Ianto, but just to sort of demonstrate that it's very real to us and to Dr. Roscoe.
Dr. Roscoe takes a deep breath, but still keeps one eye on Ianto specifically.
Sounds better.
I'm going to walk over to the pages and sort
Okay.
of try to turn my back to Roscoe and try to discreetly cast Detect Thoughts.
You're gonna have to make a sleight of hand check. And he will. He
Oh.
does in fact notice and says, "What are you doing?" Before you can cancel out the spell or continue.
I'm gonna cancel it.
He begins to shuffle the papers together into a pile and says, "It was nice seeing you. I'll be ready tomorrow with at least some findings."
Please, you've done so much for us. I feel I might be equipped to assist you for the night with this work that you're trying to finish.
No, not you. Anyone but you.
Have I
I
done
mean-
something to offend
Vixaris-
you?
Vixaris would like to step over to Yanto. I wonder if this has to do with the person you've been talking to at bars at night.
Well, does it?
Actually, make an insight check. Yeah. Also, this is in character the first time that probably Damien or Bevy are hearing about this.
Oh, you made a friend. That's nice.
All right, Caduceus.
All of a sudden, Ianto, some thoughts are floating through your head as you're thinking, as Vixaris kind of puts this connection together, that something about your conversations with Boreas in the bar and the way Ianto is, and the way Dr. Roscoe's acting. You think back at your conversations with Boreas, and you realize that Boreas acted rather strange, right? The first time he visited you at night, it was immediately after he almost killed you, and he completely acted like your friend, and he helped you out in discovering the book. The second time he visited you, same thing. He didn't attack you. He acted like he was your friend. But both times you felt yourself undergoing some kind of mental, like, weirdness. And you're beginning to wonder whether or not that was actually Boreas you were talking to. Perhaps maybe the book seems to make people see things. And perhaps, because you were the last one to touch the book, Dr. Roscoe is seeing you at night.
Oh shit! These RP
Oh.
crits are legit.
What's up? No.
I believe we've discovered something about this book that some dots I'm only now. Have I been to your laboratory more recently than when I was with my companions?
Dr. Roscoe kind of snarls and be like, you've been here almost every night. Another thing that actually rings through your head, Ianto, is the fact that before you, the last person to hold the book was Avina's dad, who went insane trying to read the book, saying he was seeing shadow people.
And what sort of things did I tell you?
Dark and horrible things. He starts to kind of collapse and cry. He explains horrifying visages you described to him that he wouldn't be able to sleep. That would cause him to not essentially sleep. I'm tripping over my words. Things like things you were going to do to him if he didn't figure out this book. Things about how he wasn't worthy to read it. How he was violating it. How you were going to rip him apart limb from limb, how you were going to boil his organs, how you were going to drag him through the 9 hells like the tiefling you were, stuff like that.
I give.
But I never got to that point with the book, right?
No, every time the book was trying to take you over, you made a wisdom save and you actually saved it.
Oh,
against it.
nice.
Yes. You
I
do
don't-
remember the first time you had the book, you were so compelled to read it you didn't sleep that night.
Yeah, but that's just the Anto. I don't suppose you're familiar with the history of this book, then. And I still have the original journal, right?
You do have Arcole's diary.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that out and, like, try to show him.
Cool. He reads it. You
I'm
see his-
sorry, whoever was talking to you, that wasn't me. It's what it does, apparently. This book.
You see Arcole's, not Arcole. You see Roscoe's jaw drops quite a little bit. He gets up and hurriedly runs over to his desk over here and grabs a small bag, and then comes back with a small set of. There seem like pieces of broken bottle that he's putting up to his eye and staring at the book. He breathes a sigh of deep relief before collapsing to the ground. It seems like a wave of exhaustion hits him as he feels a little more comfortable falling asleep. I think I know what I'm working with now. Oh,
Yes, I apologize for not letting on how much risk comes with exposing yourself to this.
It's not the first time I've dealt with a cursed object, he says, kind of waving off your apology as if it's almost unnecessary. You see that fear kind of fall off his face with you, Ianto, and the rather friendly, curious Roscoe seems to return. Albeit the tired and exhausted there. He mentions that the book seems to be cursed in a way to give it. He finds difficulty in saying consciousness, but almost as if the book has an entity dwelling within it. Not certain why, but it seems like people who interact with the book tend to have to deal with the mental hijinks of the entity inside it. Not unsurprising, he says. The book is supposed to be a key to an immense treasure and magical wealth, so of course there'd be some kind of safeguard put on it.
Alright, so perhaps tonight you'll allow us to finish your work.
Yes, but if I can ask, would you mind all of you staying? I don't feel comfortable being here by myself.
It's fine with us.
I
we were
think with
gonna
what we've
insist.
learned, that's definitely the thing to do tonight.
I'm actually very comfortable in a setting like this, so yeah, I'm good.
He turns to you, Vixaris, and looks for your opinion.
Sure.
Cool. And he takes a sigh of relief and begins to shut the blood book. I think for the time being, I have enough pages copied. We don't need the physical book itself. I'd much prefer if this were put away.
I'll put it back in my pack.
Ianto, you become very conscious of the fact that you are now the last one to have touched the book.
Wasn't he?
What do you mean?
Like he was touching the book.
Yeah, but he just
Leonto gave
handed,
it to him.
and now
Yeah,
Ianto
but now I've touched it.
and put it in his bag.
Yeah. So that guy would be in the memory.
Yeah, I've dealt with it before,
Okay.
and apparently somewhat, more comfortably than he did.
I mean, he's a doctor, right? So you'll see him and he'll help. No.
Wait, so this book-
She says if she cuts herself again. No.
This book makes it difficult to read it, but also then helps you figure it out.
It does seem confusing, doesn't it?
Okay, I suppose I should be more forthcoming now. I had assumed that Boreas was appearing to me because of his own curiosities with the book.
Dude, he almost gouged your eyeball out.
Yes, but I knew that he couldn't do anything with it. Remember the last time he touched it?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's fair.
He couldn't do anything with it, and he couldn't do anything to me as far as I was concerned. And if he could, it would be too late. So I conversed with him, and
It's true. He could have just evaporated us if he wanted to. So
What
I
if the
figured I
book-
would satiate my own curiosities if I allowed his presence to continue, but apparently it wasn't him.
Hear me out, alright? What if the book is a test and a teacher at the same time? Like my old creator, he would give me these tests, right? But he would help me to understand them. But then once I got to the tests, I couldn't understand them. But, you know, the idea is the same. Test you, but also help you. See what I mean?
You're suggesting that it is challenging us in order to ensure that the hands that it ends up in are powerful enough to use the power it contains.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is exactly.
Is that right?
Wait, you broke up. I didn't hear anything of what you said.
Me? Or
Yeah. All I heard was, "Is that right?" Were you asking me something?
oh no, I was asking the group if that the conclusion Anta came to was correct.
Damien just sort of shrugs.
I guess see.
That's definitely a possibility, but I don't know. I feel as though there is more malice than there would be if that were the case.
I mean, Julian was pretty mean to me sometimes. I didn't get the The math equations were hard.
It's okay, buddy.
All right. Do we have anything else we want to discuss or talk about in this time?
We stay up. We keep watch for Boreas. Well, if he's not visiting, then I'm not quite as worried. If it's just the book, but
Also, him and me are, Roscoe and me are the only ones that can actually read it, right?
You because of your ability to read any language, and Roscoe because of intense investment in understanding the history of the ancient Tiva.
What, so you took my blood for nothing? Give me my blood back.
Oh, Roscoe kind of, not gruntingly, but as an afterthought, explains to you how only certain bloods seem to be able to make letters appear within the book. He was merely curious to see if you were like Avina.
Yeah, my
Yes.
blood's dope. What makes Venus special?
Not exactly certain yet. I was going to drill into her head to find out, but everyone stopped me.
Do you see all these pages? That's all her blood.
All of it?
Yeah, it was not the most pleasant favor to ask for it to be extracted.
Who was Venus' dad?
He was like a lord of a castle.
blood.
Right.
And
Yeah.
who was
or
her
something.
mother?
What was it?
I guess if you want something to do while we're keeping watch tonight,
tell
you
you.
can read this
Yeah,
journal.
hands over Anta's notes.
There is a diary of Arcole that they did locate. If you'd like, I can post it for you to read, Christine.
I'll grab
Sure.
it so you
But-
can do other stuff. DM, I'll find it.
That'd be great. Thank you. Is
Who
there
was-
anything?
Wait,
Go ahead.
do we know who Venus' mom is?
I don't think anyone ever actually asked that.
Okay, where is she?
You
Sorry.
could go ask.
Where are you
her,
asking?
know.
There is
Yeah.
a genealogy in my inventory, so
Oh, I meant, yeah.
We
Where
know
is-
her brothers and father, or maybe it was just all of her siblings. They're all kaput, dead, right?
Yes,
She
you do
lived
know
here.
that she is. You actually do know that Avina's the last of the family. She did bring that up to you as the party.
At a
Vixaris is
party.
fine.
I
Vixaris
wasn't
probably-
invited to a party?
Yeah, you weren't. You're not cool enough.
I'm
Oh yeah, we know what happened to her. He murdered her.
But if her blood is the only one that works, what kind of is she? A human, tiefling,
She is a human.
human?
As far as you can tell, she looks human. And
Okay.
I think it's to do
Um,
with her bloodline rather than her
Did our nat 20
race.
double hand holding teach me anything about her?
Nah, she seems pretty normal.
Is this? Have you guys already like gone down this route? Like, questioning
what?
who Avina is?
Oh no! Well, the first couple sessions was heavily involved with Avina. She's been like the person who's been driving the story so far. We've been helping her as like the main course of action that drove us to the book and to her family line, basically.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think when we originally made our characters, we were all her associates in some way.
Oh, okay. So y'all are
She's-
pals.
Buddies with Avina, yeah.
She's pretty like magically intelligent, like Dr. Roscoe here, and like Ianto. It's kind of a common theme with people the book wants, I think.
Kind of like force sensitive.
Maybe.
Does she have? Do we know if she has magic powers of her own? This is kind of Vixaris quizzing you guys. Yeah.
Have we seen her do magic?
You haven't.
We know
Alright,
she
we're-
used the she has that glove though. She can use magical items. She's because that glove treasure that we found is hers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Where-
knows stuff, but she doesn't use magic or anything, is what I'm
No.
thinking.
Not so much a fighter. That's why she hired us.
Where does Avina live?
Castle Arcane she used to, but that was when she was
Lives
a
with
child.
us now,
Right
I
now
guess.
she's around.
Wait, just a second. She's all of your friends.
She's a wanderer.
You
She
don't know
lived
where
at
she
Castle Arcane. She hid her true identity from us
Mhm.
because she didn't want to be associated with that, obviously.
I think I was under the impression that since we were traveling a lot with her, she's nomadic,
yeah, she's-
sort of,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So where do you find her usually, or does she come to you?
We've been traveling with her since we found out that her castle was like ransacked.
Okay.
Yes, we rescued her from that
We don't
castle,
like
and
hang
then
around all
we
the
came
time.
here.
It's we have all known her from different points in her life, and then she called upon us because we owed her a favor.
Okay. Okay.
I'm saying this in character too. I'm using this
Yeah.
condescending tone as Damien, not as Zach.
Yeah, this is Xaris's tone. She's kind of intense, I guess. So, her whole family's dead. She can read. Her blood works on this book, but none of yours does, and mine obviously doesn't, because my blood doesn't want anything to do with this book. You can only read it because you can comprehend languages.
Oh, I can read anything that's written down.
Okay. And we don't know what the book says yet, right?
I've picked up bits here and there, and
Well, we got
Roscoe here has as well.
Okay. Oh wow, those are a lot of notes.
Roscoe explains that what he's figured out is the book is more of a guidebook to Seven Seals, which open something called the Seven Seal Gate, which is a rather popular legend in Armina. You, Vixaris, would have probably heard of it. It's sort of like that El Dorado or Atlantis treasure that everyone kind of talks about. Is like, oh yeah, you're gonna go find that. Good luck with that. Ha ha ha. But like anyone who would find it would be granted immense amount of wealth and treasure. Roscoe seems to think this is a legitimate guidebook in how to find and open the Seven Seal Gate, in which he's trying to translate the words of it to. So far, the words you guys have translated are gather the 7 keys of Tiva, and I believe a generalized story of a seal being guarded in a flying castle by a great champion.
Mm.
But Roscoe's pretty sure once he orders these pages together, he can put a coherent story together. In fact, we could turn it into a puzzle, and I could just give you a bunch of paragraphs, and you could see if you could put the story together.
Cool.
But if you guys don't, then Roscoe can just do it for you.
I mean, I'd love to do that. I don't know if we should be doing it during the game.
Tell you
I'd be
what,
down for
we
it.
could just take it. We could find my creator, Julian. He's the smartest man alive. He could put this book together, no problem.
From what you have told him of us, or what you've told us of him, rather, is this really the sort of person you want to see again?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm literally created to protect him, and he's been gone. I don't have a purpose. I've been trying to find it with V. I think we could find him.
We could certainly try.
Well, we've heard some rumors about where he's been seen. We got a piece of paper, right?
Roscoe reminds you of the piece of paper that mentioned he was in the forest. But Roscoe kind of looks up and goes, "You're not actually planning on going there, are you?"
What? Yeah. Why?
Cinderwist Forest is basically a no-go zone in Jabrea. People who go in, they never come back out.
Yeah, but that's because they don't have a wit paladin.
So did Vixaris literally pull out the whip just to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Is it dangerous? Is there something powerful there?
Oh, there's a lot of strange goings on at Cinderwist Forest. 20 years ago, all of a sudden the Boggles appeared in Armina. Some say they came from there. If you really want to know what's going on in Cinderwist Forest, you better just ask a Boggle, he says, kind of laughing to himself, knowing that no Boggle would ever talk to you.
Oh, little
mean-
did we, little does he know.
I've got a secret weapon against them.
Someone's delivering me a secret, or what is it called? Our old
A
friend is
magic weapon.
delivering a magic weapon to us. While he does that, we could ask him.
Well, is Cinderwisk on this continent or on this island?
Yes, if you would all like to look at your handout of map of Jabrea,
Boink. I pulled it up.
Cinderwest Forest is actually rather close to Armina. It is a peninsula to the northeast.
So I think while we can actually wait 2 days and get your magical item and then head that way after we talk to our buddy again. I think we should return this gem and the orbs that came in it. I think I don't want to use blood items, as it were.
Are you serious? We're gonna
Yes,
go?
I feel that ship has sailed though.
Well, we can just give them the stuff and it'll be theirs to use, since their suffering was the one that created it.
The
Yeah.
only thing I want to do
Yeah.
is blood now. Nah, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Bevy is looking excited and is nodding their head along with Damien.
I mean, we don't have it.
I guess if we're going to the forest, I'll spend the night transcribing these pages then into readable language.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to do anything else in his lab, the next day I'm going to give you what the page says.
I want to get to know Avina. Sorry.
You're gonna go back to the inn and bother her while she's sleeping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll wait till she wakes up. I'm not gonna bother her.
So you'll go to Avina. Bevy, what are you doing?
I'll do what I normally do, which is just kind of hang out and watch people work at a magical laboratory.
Okay. Damien, are you doing anything interesting in here?
Roscoe doesn't like us poking around his studio, right? He kind of covers everything up.
Most of the magical items seem to be covered up. There are a series of books here, located here, you could leaf through. You can also look at whatever this gelatinous thing is.
Oh yeah, is that
Is
moving?
that a
I'll do
shark?
the jelly thing, yeah.
Gelatinous thing.
I don't think that Damien's a book kind of guy, so he's gonna look at the jelly.
That's fine.
thing, yeah.
Cool. The gelatinous thing, to you it almost doesn't look alive, but then you instinctively do that kid thing when you go to an aquarium where you tap the glass when you know you're not supposed to. It actually looks more like a construction of polygons almost, like diamonds and what's it when it's
Trapezoids.
Prisms?
trapezoids and that symbol that's the sim green thing over its head. You know what I'm talking about?
The pump bob.
A diamond?
I think
Yeah,
that's a
plumb
diamond.
bob.
Pretty sure it's a diamond.
That's
It's
a
a
plumb bob.
rhombus.
A rhombus, thank you.
Rhombus.
Connected together to form some kind of amorphous symbol. As you tap it, they kind of vibrate, but it almost looks like the thing is kind of writhing around than, moving. It's actually kind of gross to you.
Dr. Roscoe, is this thing alive? What is this?
Well, yes and no. Living crystal is what I like to call it. I took a foray into the Shimmering Mountains and found a small little piece that seems to have some kind of strange sentience to it. I've been, and you kind of look over here, you notice a generator thing. I've been coaxing it with electricity to see if I can make it grow or do anything with it.
You've been breeding sentient rocks?
I
thought he was an
mean-
archaeologist.
I mean, that's a rather, what's the word, obtuse way of putting it, but I suppose.
It's almost a shame we
Can
have
I
to spend so
insight
much
check
time
the
on this
gel? Is
book.
it in pain?
Sure, you can insight check.
There's so much to explore in your laboratory, I feel.
I mean, things don't writhe. Well, things do writhe in pleasure, but this doesn't look like it's writhing in
Ugh.
pleasure.
Oh,
You realize you're hurting it, Dr. Roscoe, right?
And he walks over, kind of taking a break from the pages, looking over at it. I actually theorized that it doesn't understand pain. But
wow.
it can't
I
speak,
hate
so
this
I'm not exactly
Well,
certain.
it's not
And he
writhing
goes
in
back to his
pleasure.
book.
I want to leave.
I'll try and cast. I'll go to touch it and I'll cast a cure wounds on it and see what happens.
Cool.
Oh, did it not roll?
It did. 16.
No, that's my insight, isn't
Oh
it?
wait. Oh no.
Why are you sitting on my books like that's where
it's
you belong?
broken.
What's broken?
Mic clicking. Hang on 1 second. Cure wounds it for 9 HP. Does it look cooler? Does it feel better? Does it attack me?
The rocks get slightly bigger, but you do actually make a con save.
Yeah. Saw that coming. Whoops, that's Dex. So it's the same thing though.
Okay. Then you actually feel whatever's in here is actually rather acidic. You manage to touch the thing before you're pulling it out before you take any actual damage. Though.
Oh, okay. Ooh, spicy rock. Okay.
What you think is the head is now kind of turned at what you hope is not staring at you, but you can't really tell because it doesn't have a face.
I'll spend the rest of the day healing this thing, I guess, or like I'll take my time and do prayer of healings to get a little more healing out of it. But like I'll heal it a little bit.
Yeah, it begins moving less, but it seems like its moves are becoming more deliberate than, writhing in agony.
I'm gonna.
So it's not moving.
I'm saving one of each level of spell slot, but for the rest, I'm just spending them. So
That's fine.
What if by healing it, you are actually allowing it to feel pain?
I think the part of his brain that senses pain comes back. Ah!
Yeah.
Damien doesn't think that far ahead of things. He's smart, but he's not that smart. I wouldn't even call that smart. That's just like an unfortunate thing.
All right, Ianto, I assume you're helping rearrange the pages.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wait,
I mean,
hold on, DM. Is
Or
there?
I'm going to translate them first into something readable to share with the group.
okay, that's fine.
Are there alchemist supplies around here? Something that would be like an alchemist workstation, maybe?
What are you looking for? Can you describe why you're looking for that?
Because I have proficiencies in an alchemist kit, but I don't have one.
It seems like there's a rather fancy one here, but it seems pretty, what do I want? Screwed into the table
A
as in,
workstation, not a kit kind of
rough.
thing.
Yeah, more of a workstation.
Could I use it?
If you ask Roscoe if it's okay, and he just waves off, be like, "Don't touch any of the flasks that are currently burning."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've learned that lesson before. I don't have any supplies to do anything. Could I use his supplies and then like detract money off?
He's fine with that. He's like, "Just leave whatever you use in cash."
Okay, let's see if I can remember this. I put the brown thing in the red thing, mix it up, put it on fire. Okay, so I'm gonna try and make a healing potion. Can I do that with an alchemist kit?
It would.
Herbalist.
No, healing potion is alchemist, right? Zach, remind me.
Usually herbalist, but I've seen people rule alchemist kits. It's totally up to you.
I would say alchemists are used for alchemist's fire. Let's say
Alchemist
that.
fire,
We'll
acid,
Or acid.
potions.
acid.
Oh yeah,
Well,
like
some
bitter
acid
potions.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
Can I
You'd
make
like
some
to make-
acid?
If you'd like to make a vial of acid, it would cost you half of whatever it is in the handbook.
Avery will tell you,
25 gold.
or Christine will tell you.
I smart.
So it is 25 gold to purchase one. So what would it be, like 13?
Oh, I thought it was 25 gold, or I thought it was 50 gold for a healing potion.
No, he's making a vial of acid,
Oh my god, never mind.
which
acid
is much cheaper.
says
Leave
25.
me alone.
25 gold for a vial of acid?
Yep.
Oh, so Christine, you were right. Look at you.
Really?
Yeah, we'll round it down to 12. That's fine.
Okie dokie. I will attempt to do that before.
DC 14.
Damn.
As you make it, you actually make too much and it burns through the vial.
Hot,
So
hot,
you
hot,
get the... You take 5 acid damage as it falls on you. Dr. Roscoe demands another gold to buy a new flask.
Yep. Sure. I'm like dunking rats in like sand or something right now because they're burning.
And Vix, you said you were heading back because you wanted to talk to Avina, correct?
Yeah, I didn't realize. Had no idea. I'm sorry.
Wait, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, he said I had no idea who Avina was. So I was like, is she an apprentice? And now I understand who she is. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to go get to know her.
I did
Cool.
suggest that you read my notes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will start reading them.
Just
after
get caught up
the-
on 6
Wait, where
months
are
or
your
8
notes?
months of game, Christine. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. It's TSSG notes. It's the very first post.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
I
also
didn't want to
pinned
like.
in there, I think.
I saw. Okay, I've seen your musings. I also didn't want to like read stuff that my character wouldn't know. So.
Mm.
Ianto shares his book with you, and now you know.
Yeah, this is all the stuff, everything I've written in the notes.
If it was a Ben specific note, it's noted in there.
I'm willing to share.
Sure.
I'm willing to share it with the group.
Oh yes.
I
So
have a
like,
separate notes page for stuff I'm not willing to share with the group.
Ianto
Ooh.
literally writes notes all the time as an offer to his patron. So I mean, it is actually in game that there is a notebook with a list of what they're doing.
Okay. All right, I'll read through it.
So let's say you spend the night doing that, and tomorrow you can, if you'd like to, you can go talk to Avena.
All right, I'm reading through these notes. I'm gonna learn so much about Avina.
Do we get to sleep?
Okay. I'd say you guys can take turns. So you would probably get just barely 8 hours of sleep. However, you'd wake up at probably 2 p.m.
What?
Take turns doing
We're
what?
going that late?
What's up?
Take turns doing what? Are we keeping watch, you mean?
Keeping watch,
Cool. That's
hanging
fine.
around, waiting
I don't mind
around.
waking up
taking
late.
naps.
That's not a big deal for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ianto doesn't have to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Do you just get long rests at all the time? That's crazy.
As long as I'm not doing anything
Yeah,
strenuous.
do light activity.
So Ianto, we can do this two ways. I can post this into the TSSG notes, or I can DM it to you, and you can read a huge story to everybody. But essentially, as you finish translating and reassembling the story, it seems to be a rather crude children's fairy tale that you've put together.
This isn't some kind of
Oh,
joke,
cute.
Ianto. What's the book really say?
So I can give this to you, John, and then a DM, or I can just post it to the notes, and we can have quiet time while everyone.
I guess my question is, do you want, if we're gonna like figure out what the story means, is that something that needs to happen during the sessions, or is that like we can do it out of basically in text?
I think.
Because
I
I feel
mean-
like that might be boring for us to spend the session solving a puzzle. I mean, I want to do that. I don't know if everyone shares my. enjoyment of
I'll break the
puzzles.
screen a little bit and say, once you hear this story, Roscoe's going to be able to analyze it.
Let's
Sorry?
read it. Why not?
So how do you want me to deliver this to you guys, players?
Ianto, it's your choice, Doc. What do you want?
I didn't. What was the last thing you said about Roscoe?
So Roscoe will probably be able to figure out the actual meaning behind this story rather easily as he hears it. So assuming you read it out to everyone while he's in the room, and this is breaking the screen a little bit, Roscoe will be able to tell you where you need to head to next.
Yeah, fine. I want to keep the game going, so over wanting to solve a puzzle.
All right, cool. You want me to? But my question is, do you, John, want to sit here and read this story, or do you
Post
want to
the
hand it to
text,
Roscoe?
man.
and read-
Post the text.
Yeah, just post it.
All right, why don't we take a 5, and why don't you all read this?
Yeah, let's do that.
It's gonna just post the
Yeah, why
document. Post a doc or something.
No, because the document is a lot longer than you think it is. Why don't we take a 5, and I will
Do it
format
in
this
a Google
and post
Docs.
it. It is in a Google Doc, but it's full of other things that I don't want to share with
that's
you
fair.
guys.
Okay.
So I will post. Let's take 5. I will format this and post it, and then we'll come back.
Back in a jiffy.
Okey-doke.
Is this in order already?
Oh, yeah. I was kind of just on the fly playing with the idea of just giving it to you in broken up paragraphs.
Okay.
So I was just gonna give it to you. I wrote it in order, so I'm just gonna give it to you in order. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Yeah, you should read them for the jokes that nobody gets to hear.
Excuse me.
Also,
Let's see. I've seen a couple already that are funny.
Get off my chair, you little jag.
Don't call me a jag. I'm not in your chair.
Literally this entire time, like the professor's been on my feet. At one point, she literally climbed on my lap and then clawed her way onto my shoulder and then stood there for 5 minutes while we were playing. It was pretty great.
Prison gang. Prism game. Gang. That's funny. A question just occurred to me during that fight. How does one resuscitate an incorporated colony of rats?
I'm back. I heard something talking about a rat swarm. What's up? Got some questions
I'm
about my physiology?
No.
oh, at some point I asked myself, how exactly do we resuscitate?
Resuscitate.
Bring you back to life?
Cat, I swear to God!
Because you're a bunch of rats. So how does one healing spell work on you?
Good question. It's a good question. I don't know.
Everyone's wondering why Shoko is with you, the child.
That's just me.
Okay.
Tyler legit in the very first session cast Fireball, but I don't think he realized that it was an AoE, so he cast it right next to 3 of the players.
Oh my god. That's why none of you have eyebrows.
He then did it again, but just to me.
Oh no. Well, you're what, a tiefling?
Yeah, you got fire resistance.
Yeah, at least your eyebrows do.
We've been caught in his fireballs just as much as enemies, basically.
That's so funny.
But she does crazy damage, so, you know. Great member of the
Avina
team.
has a gauntlet.
That was that magic thing that,
It's a
Zach
blue
was
glove.
talking about.
Yeah, it's a glove.
A glove? She's a
Mhm.
glove that needs recharging?
Yes, so it's a mechanic that I introduced into Jabrea, but we haven't really used very much. The idea that you can buy magic items for cheaper, but they would have limited charges, and you would have to take them to be recharged instead of them just regaining their charge.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a weird question.
Yeah.
But Ben, did you ever watch a show called Outlaw Star?
I always want to think that's Trigun, and yes, but I don't think I've ever watched Outlaw Star.
Okay. Alright. Never mind.
Why?
I'm just seeing some themes, but maybe it's just me putting together things that aren't there. And obviously not if you've never seen the show.
I'm gonna Google Outlaw Star to see if I'm subconsciously rewriting that plot.
No, it's gonna be so weird. You're gonna be like, okay, space giant robots with arms, or spaceships with arms. Okay, no, this is one thing in particular I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no, I've never seen Outlaw Star just by looking at the wiki page.
Pretty good 90s anime.
Yeah.
It's like a Cowboy Bebop sort of.
I can tell from these pictures, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely went for the same kind of feel for sure. Did you watch Naruto? You watched
Of course I watched Naruto.
Alright,
Yeah.
good.
Wait, is
I-
the game Naruto? Are we playing Naruto?
I'm just saying, I think that I see a lot of Kabuto in what was Four Eyes, now
Mm.
Boreas.
I will say this. I ran into Boreas's stat block randomly and was like, this is the perfect BBEG. I love it. And so that's how he became who he is.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
This is all great. I like this is really quite a lot, very in depth, and then it's
Yeah.
all homebrew. It's great.
Yeah. Basically, I came up with the overarching story, and then the day before while I'm sitting at work, I'm like, how am I actually going to do that? This makes sense. Okay, we're doing it this way.
I'm back, by
My
the way.
only regret is that I would have liked to have a character that could, piece it all together, sort of. I've been trying in my own way, but would have been better to be like a badass wizard or something.
Yeah. Well, maybe Bevy will die, and then
Yeah, here's hoping. Here's hoping.
You know?
No, don't kill Bevy. I like Bevy.
I did that in a campaign. I hated my character, so I just went and started attacking the party until they killed me. I mean, I was upfront being like, "Hey, I'm doing this. Let's do this as a session." But
He wears a crown of bone.
I also
That was a
haven't
vision,
updated
though,
with
right?
the last two sessions of notes. I still have to do that, so. Normally I do them live, but I do not have a lot of energy right now.
It's fine. Can Vixars talk to?
yeah, if you want to do that now while we're waiting,
Yeah,
um,
Avanya, right?
Avina.
Avina. Sorry. Avina.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of critical. All right. Yeah, she's gonna.
You go into Gibbons Armory to see Avina pulled up some breakfast from the tavern, sitting down to herself. She looks up at you and she kind of gives a friendly nod, but no, she doesn't know you as well as she knows the others, so she's not gonna be like, "Hey, come on over, let's talk."
Hey, Avina, is the seat taken?
Um, you can't sit with us, Christine. No. Yeah, I mean, she happily lets you take a seat next.
So she's Vixars is gonna sit down, kind of lean forward, look at the mush, eat a little bit of it. Wait, or maybe order some mush.
Yeah, maybe order your own, because essentially you're saying you're gonna lean over, take a piece of food off her plate, and then eat it in
damn.
front of her.
Okay, I'll order that. I would like 2 hard-boiled eggs.
2 copper pieces. The bartender says between gasping laughs that it's 2 copper pieces. We're heading off to make them for you.
Wait, 4 hard-boiled eggs.
He says, "Okay, it's 4 copper pieces then."
Okay, she hands over 4 copper pieces.
Yeah. Alright.
All right. She's gonna sit in front of Avina. Hey.
Hello, she says, Avina, rather strange as she's trying to eat her food, and you're staring at her rather violently. Not violently, but rather intently.
Cool handshake yesterday. Yeah, yeah,
She nods. She was like, "Yeah, I was pretty proud of it.
yeah,
Something I can do for you, Vixie? Vix? I guess you said your name was."
yeah. Vix, not Vixie. That's not my name. Yeah, I didn't realize that you were the one that brought the ragtag group of fools and the child Shoko together.
Well, Shoko wasn't really my pick. I had actually
Yeah.
Damien, Bevy, Ianto, and a friend of mine, Fulgur. But you know, she proved herself. I consider myself more of a traveler since I was a kid, so I spend a lot of my time in ruins. It's not unusual for me to have to hire adventurers or bodyguards.
Yeah. 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 So, okay. I'm just gonna be straight with you. Also, I'm really charming. But I'm not coming off as charming. I've had a long day. So
I'm charming, damn it! Tell me
I'm
things.
charming. Tell me things. I've heard that you're a bit of a traveler, and I'm learning about this book. I'm a little behind on everything, so this is me mostly trying to, ask you questions to figure out what the hell's going on and catch up.
Okay, she says, looking over her shoulder. Maybe, don't say books so loudly.
Does this town hate books?
No, but she pulls an old wanted poster that you remember seeing of the original 5 party being wanted for 2,000 gold.
Oh yeah, I'm talking in a hushed tone.
Okay, that's fine.
So, who are your parents?
Well, I'm named after my mother, Alice. By the way, Avina's more of a code name. My actual name is Alice Arcane. But please, in public, call me Avina. Avina of the Ark.
Avina of the Ark. Alice Arcana. Okay.
And my father's name was Arcole, but I never really got to meet either of them. When I was...
Arcole. Okay.
Take the E off Arcole, but yeah. It's such an Arcole. Nope. I'm gonna spell it for you now.
Okay.
Nip that in the butt.
The Arcole, if you will.
The Arcole family. Got it.
The Arcoles. So glad I invited you to this game.
You're welcome.
She says when she was 2 years old, her dad went insane and murdered her mother. Her older brother took vengeance and murdered her father, so she never really got to know them.
And where's your older brother?
She kind of gets a somber look and she says, recently deceased.
Mine too. Why do you think you're the only one that can read this book? Or why do you think your blood is the only one that can get the...
I mean, to be honest, I'm not exactly certain. From what I can tell, the book was in my family castle so long, so it has to do something with my family's bloodline. My mother is actually the actual arcane royalty. My father, a noble married from another house, so maybe it just traveled. Maybe the secrets lied with her, and she was never able to pass them on to me.
Cool. Where is this castle?
She explains about the Honeydew Coast.
Honeydew Coast?
The Honeydew Coast, like honeydew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at your map of Jabrea, you can actually see there's a town called Floss up in the north west. It's not unusual. We're about a little north of Florafoss. We used to oversee that part, but in recent years, our house kind of fell into decline.
Yeah, with everyone being murdered or dying, it can really put a damper on the bloodline.
Exactly.
Cool.
As you can tell from a fallen house, it's better for me to hide my true identity. As such, I introduced myself as Avina. I don't like being associated with the arcane name, and I spent most of my time traveling the world, mainly to figure out what could possibly have caused my dad to go that insane and kill my mom.
And you think it's that book?
I think it's that book, and I think it's whatever's behind that gate. So that's why I hired the people you just recently associated with yourselves to open it.
Cool. What's your brother's name?
Arbus. Had to think about it.
Arbus. Cool. All
Or
right.
maybe Arbus was the dad and Arcole was the son. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That was months
It's
ago.
not that important. Cool. All right. I don't know if any of this is useful for anyone. Christine says out loud. Hopefully not.
Oh, is anyone back? Who's here?
Yeah, I'm back. What's up?
I'm here.
I mean,
No, then just making sure you're here. I hope this helps, smooth out whatever wrinkles you and I have while working together, Vixaris. If Damien
don't
vouches
hate
for
it.
your strength, if Damien vouches for your strength, I'm willing to employ you.
Ooh. How much you paying?
Shouldn't have used that word.
I made it clear that whatever was behind the door would be split between whoever helped me, and I just wanted to know what was behind it.
Oh.
I love how I mention it's a treasure on par. Vixar's like, oh, that's it? All right.
Yeah, but like, who's funding my way to get to that treasure, you know?
Oh, I guess you are.
Ugh. Great. I mean, come on. No. You use so many cats. There's got to be something valuable you can give me in the meantime.
Well, my family did have a large funding, but it was captured by the thieves who took over my family castle, and subsequently taken by your friends Damien and Bevy, Ianto, Shoko, and Fulgar when they freed me. I offered it to them as a present, so
Oh, cool.
unfortunately, my entire now
I mean,
nameless, other than a
friends-
stone castle up north,
Okay. Well, friends is a strong word for people I just met who have agreed to give me money, so I get it though. Okay, well, thank you so much. I just thought it would be good to get to know you, especially since you have like your blood works on this book. It's really interesting to me that you have
Yeah.
blood.
I mean, I've never been one naturally inclined to magic. I know quite a lot of it, but a lot about it, and
Yeah. but
mainly
you-
my experience in history. I have no idea why my blood works on the book. She
you-
recounts another strange situation in which no one was able to open the book except for her at one point.
Xar briefly contemplates chopping off her hand, but to solve this problem. But her intelligence is the one, so she's not gonna do that.
We've already taken a pint of her blood that you've seen. So
Mm. Well,
I mean, I say
thank you.
we. It's mostly me.
Yeah.
you bled the most out of all of us. You're friends with the vampires. You're eating that.
Ianto's secretly chaotic evil, guys.
I believe it.
Vixaris, make a perception check.
Oh yeah, or investigation.
This time it's perception. What? Are you
Ooh.
good at?
Holy shit.
You're talking, and out of the corner of your eyes, you begin to notice. You notice one or two boggles in the tavern, and it doesn't really bug you until you realize that one of them specifically in the corner seems to be eyeing you rather intently. The minute you look at it, though, it darts off and runs off.
Okay, I gotta go fix something. Thank you for your time. See you later.
Are you not gonna slap our NPC in the face?
She offers an egg to her.
She happily accepts. I guess you're taking the rest to go.
Can
Yeah.
I offer you an egg in these trying times? Sorry.
It's a great snack for later. Always keep them on you. You never know when you're not gonna get a fresh cooked meal. She puts
She
it
says,
for-
she's like, okay. As you head off to find the boggle, you actually notice that you can't seem to catch it. It seems to have jumped down a sewer. The minute it saw you, noticed it.
Oh yeah, I think Ianto would have told Vixaris to pass along to Avina that we're making some progress with the book, because, you know, her blood and everything.
Mm. I'm not gonna
Cool.
tell her that in a public place, though. Especially if that boggle is giving me a look.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Cool. Anything else you want to do, Christine?
They're disgusting vermin. It's not, don't feel bad about it.
Do I think that that friend of mine was looking for me because of our other boggle friend, or do I think that boggle was spying on me?
As far as if my math is correct, there's still one more day before Durgil has to pay up on his thing, so it seems suspicious that a boggle was watching you.
Okay, I'd like to go meet them again.
Meet who?
The rest of the party.
Cool. You easily find your way back. I'm assuming you have to knock on the door regularly and someone has let you in because you probably don't remember the knocks that Damien remembered.
Oh, yeah, I guess not.
Unless you want to roll, I don't know.
No, I don't want to waste a detour.
Cool.
Another.
We're all back. I'm in the same room, and we can cut through you guys being read the fairy tale. Did everyone read it, or do you want me to read it, or
I
what's going
haven't
on?
read it.
Didn't
I
read
have read it.
Yeah,
Oh wait, I have a question. Vixaris has a question for you.
yeah.
All, not you, Ben.
Okay, bye.
Bye. So I try to spend some time getting to know our friend Avina. And while we were in the pub eating my eggs, I noticed there was a boggle watching me. Is that normal around here? She then takes out a hard-boiled egg and starts eating it.
You've been living here for a while, haven't you? I was under the impression that the boggles are a constant presence.
But this one was watching me.
That's basically been happening the whole time we've been around, right?
Yeah, they've been assholes the whole time. But I think
Ben.
Yeah.
Is this different than like me living in the city? Are they kind of like the watch?
It was rather prominent. You used to seeing boggles kind of doing their own thing. Maybe the most they do is they like sneak up and, you know, like a dog stealing a treat off someone's plate when they're not looking. It's rare to have one watching you as intently as this one was.
Yeah. Okay. I share that with the group. So, I mean, you guys probably know this.
Durgil's probably
I
upset
can't
that
tell
he helped
if-
us out, and we didn't really give him much in return.
I took a body out for him, so
That's a separate payment that he's paying you for.
I just happened to talk sweetly to him.
Talking sweetly doesn't always
Alright,
make
alright.
people endeared to you.
All right,
We
fine.
can go visit him if you want, or we can go put in a good word at the other two gangs. We may want to talk to them since we did leverage them against each other to take down the Greens and see what they think. Try and get them as a united front against this new threat.
So you think that because we were not exactly forthcoming with Durgil, this is why the Boggles are spying on me?
I would guess that, or because we probably killed a couple.
Bevy, if I killed a couple rats in front of you, would you be upset and follow me and spy on me?
No. I kill a couple of rats every day, to be honest. We are important, but only as important as the sum of the whole, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifices are needed sometimes. But I continue on.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get my bearings on the situation. Okay, let me read this story. I'll talk. Bye.
Boggles are all over the place. They show up everywhere. They try and steal from you. They're little bastards.
We may want to reconcile ourselves with the other gangs and sort of try and put in a good word for Durgil. He did help us out, and, you know, we can sort of make peace and hopefully tell them of the new threat coming down. We never did talk to them again, so...
No, you
I'm
didn't.
under the impression that he's content to watch from the shadows.
I'm sure Durgil might be fine with that, but he also had a bunch of metal guys about to kill him. And they did take off one of the Boggles' head, remember? The whole chopping of the head bit.
Are the three like guilds working
No,
together?
they are
I
at
thought there
war.
was kind of like
They're
a
like at war.
yeah, it's kind of like a rivalry.
Yeah,
thing,
Red and
right?
Blue teamed up
Yeah.
against Green for a bit to help us out, but we didn't end up killing Green like they, I think, hoped. So, let's...
Yeah, but it's just one dude now, right? Or is he still having an organization?
I'm sure he still has an
behind-
organization.
Okay.
He still...
He's
there
an
were
organization of
goblins there.
boggles. They're following you
Well, there were
around.
goblins down
That's
there,
it.
goblin guards, too, that were...
And there was a human that interacted with you, claimed to be a member of the Emerald Eye as
Yeah,
well.
when he originally stole our stuff, and then we murdered him brutally, yeah.
Not to be biased or anything, but I like the Boggle guy.
I'm
Like me.
interested in making peace between these guys and introducing them to the new threat. Do we still have pieces of the metal guys?
It seems like all you have is that electrified
That's
crystal.
fine, it's good enough. Let's take the remainder of this day and go do some I guess wound closing. We do owe them at least a hi, a hello, hey.
But first, some exposition. Professor Roscoe's going to tell you what he thinks this fairy tale means. So he's rather excited when he hears this because he asks, "Have you ever met an elf in Jabrea with?"
Sorry?
What?
So I cut out for a second. I heard an
He-
elf.
He asked the party if you guys have ever seen an elf with silver skin in Jabrea.
Oh yeah, the dead body in the sewers.
Gross.
He kind of stumbles and goes, "Not exactly what I was talking about, but that's, I guess, a thing." He explains about a race of elves that live on the island of Jabrea called the Luna Vey, which I'm going to post that in the chat right now. The Luna Vey, as he explains, believe themselves to be the true descendants of the Tiva, and they tend to have most of the magical artifacts that are left behind by the Tiva under their own possession. One of which is a place called Slate Haven Station. It's an abandoned tower full of magical artifacts. And a really important thing about it is Slate Haven Station is a normal spot where a certain flying castle called Osdrift tends to station itself to resupply itself on items it can't get while flying in the middle of the sky. He explains how this fairy tale kind of intrigues his interest because one of the major attractions on Osdrift is a castle in which Lunave hire champions to go and try to unseat the current, hire essential mercenaries to go unseat the current champion at an arena. That champion is usually given the title the Immortal.
Oh, so the Pokemon Elite Four.
Basically, he's explaining that he believes that this fairy tale is a metaphor. The boy is a metaphor for the champion at Osdrift's arena, who was given the title Immortal.
Is this not information we'd gotten before already?
Other than just a champion in a flying
Oh,
castle.
we wouldn't know that there's like the seal in the Flying Castle, but this leads us to believe that the Flying Castle and that tournament thing are involved in the seal. So now we know that.
Yes. He seems to think that the fairy tale seems to explain that the actual physical champion of the arena is the possessor of the rune. Or seal that you're looking for.
You happen to know how long this champion's been a champion?
Well, I'm sure you know that it's rather difficult to get onto Osdrift. The Lunave are rather persnickety in letting anybody who's not one of them on. Hence
We
the
were told that it would be costly.
300 platinum pieces a ticket. However, it's free for Lunave.
Oy, fuck.
How much does silver skin paint costs?
Yeah, pointy ears. We get real good at cosplay.
Aren't I half elf? Yeah, I am.
Okay,
He
that one
also
YouTuber.
points out to you guys that the fairy tale does describe the rune being shaped as a spiral with 6 pointed arms.
So look for the spiral with 6 pointed arms. Got it.
What did the previous rune look like?
It's in our
There's a
notes,
picture
dog.
of it in their notes.
It's like two
2 sickles or 2
no?
Nike check marks,
Yeah.
2 sperms. I don't know what to say. It's like a funky looking hook.
koi fish, maybe an
Oh,
eel.
koi fish and eels are good.
Maybe if we bring that body to rest, the Linove body from the sewer with us, could
Hey, we
convince them
killed one
to-
of you.
No. Oh wait, did we kill them or did we find him dead?
He was dead.
You
I
found
was
him
just
dead.
kidding because like bringing
Oh.
somebody's a dead body. The first thing is, where did you get this? How did you? What happened?
Well,
we were
Roscoe
in the
goes, there
sewers.
is probably another option.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're
Go
right.
Like I said, the Lunave hire mercenaries to go try to unseat the current champion of the arena.
So we're the champions to seat.
And entry into this tournament, what will that cost us?
If you could prove yourselves worthy champions, you'd probably find a Lunave who would sponsor you onto the island.
Where do we prove ourselves of champion?
In the city.
Slate Haven
underneath
Station.
them,
Wayhaven. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, let's do it. I take out my whip. My
Just-
If you do look at your Jabrayan map, there is a Slate Haven station near the center of it.
Oh, I see it.
Just to be clear, they have silvered skin, not metallic skin, right?
Yes, it's mostly gray. However, it does sparkle, which is why most people call it silvered.
But it's skin,
It's
not metal.
it's 100% flesh. I've dissected enough of them, and then he kind of stops himself.
Oh,
You
hell.
dissecting people? So this is
Who said anything
ally.
about
I
dissecting?
told you he was a doctor.
so he's an ally, and but he's dissecting.
Listen. They were already dead when I found them. It's not my problem.
Insight
Okay.
check.
Yeah. I like to
Go
insight
ahead.
check.
Yeah, I don't think
Wow.
Ianto minds either way, but he also wants to know if he's lying.
Mhm.
Yeah, he actually seems pretty honest, Vix. You're the only one who seems to be able to tell.
Okay.
Everyone
I
else is kind of
believe you.
everyone else is
You're
kind of
clearly
grossed out.
some sort of doctor who also doesn't really know what kind of doctor he is.
You get the sense that he's somebody obsessed with magic, and doesn't really look at rules as a way of stopping him from finding out what he wants to find out about something. So if he's curious about an elf, he's gonna cut up their corpse to find out about
This
them.
sign won't stop me. I can't read. Okay, I relay this to the team, though I still question why we are helping or why we're allied with this guy. I guess because it's cool alchemy kit?
I like his jelly.
It's cool,
I like his
shares
living
my
gems. That was
own.
pretty cool.
To be fair, he's like the second smartest person I've met.
Ianto?
Oh, I meant Dr. Roscoe.
Oh no, I meant I thought Ianto was saying something
Oh,
as well.
he shares my proclivity for knowledge.
Okay.
Well, I think the point of the legend is pretty clear. We need to go to... What was it called? Let's see here. The Cinder Wisp Forest. That's where we're going?
Well, we can. I'd like to go there before we head to wherever is our next stop.
To the Slate Haven station?
Yeah, I'd prefer to go to the Cinder Wisp and then to Slate Haven if we have a choice.
It feels like the DM is urging us to go one place over the other.
I mean, Roscoe would be rather clear to you that he doesn't think it's a good idea to go to Cinderwisp, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say you're not allowed to go there.
Also, I'm
People
going to
who go
remind
there don't
everyone
return.
that
To be fair, people who go to the floating city don't return either,
Yeah,
right?
though champions probably don't win all that much.
Our friend
Uh,
Boreas has already found one of the seals.
I'm sorry. I think, Bevy, your errand will have to come after. I'm sorry. If that's okay.
That's okay as long as we get to it eventually. But I get the feeling that if we go there, all of our problems will be solved by the smartest man in the.
Finding your creator, your father, mentor, etc., will solve some problems. But for now, if this Four Eyes guy has something that could cause harm to all of us, it would cause harm to your creator as well, and that wouldn't be good, would it? If you're
You're
supposed to
saying I
protect
need
him.
to do this to protect him. That's what you're
Bing-
saying?
Bingo bongo. Yes.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
I have an intelligence of. A second. Let me look at my character sheet. Of 12. I know things.
all right. So, you have learned that there is an arena in Ozdrift with a champion who you believe to have the next room. You believe that if you go to Slatehaven Station, you can find a Lunave to
We're
essentially
gonna flex on him.
sponsor you. Yeah, you're gonna flex on him real hard, and he's gonna sponsor you in the tournament, and that's how you're going to get in to find this champion and get the seal. Any questions on that idea or that plan?
It's pretty
What we've
solid.
heard, it's like the normal type of tournament, like a fight in a pit until somebody dies. That's what we can tell. Not some type of like weird challenge or like Olympic Games sort of thing.
Roscoe doesn't seem to know too much, but there might be other people in the city who know. Do you know anyone who's a good fighter, or somebody who likes to brawl?
The leader of the Sapphire. Ooh, what are they called? He likes to fight. He likes a good
Sapphire
fight.
Echo? Is that what it was? I should know this.
Sapphire Echo, yeah.
Ooh yeah.
Lapis Lazuli. He's a fighter. He loves a fight.
Oh yeah, I wonder if he'll pay me for my time with you guys.
Yeah, we do need to square.
Are you
our-
in like everybody's employee? How are you getting so much money?
To be
No
fair.
one's giving me money.
He's the guy that hired her in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And
Pretty
apparently
sure
you
that
haven't
guy
been
owes
paid
me
yet?
$12.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to do in Army now?
Yeah, I gotta square up my shit with these gangs.
Cool.
Yeah, talk to.
You guys want Lapis first, or do
Lapis
you want
and talk to
the Ruby Fang?
Dirgel.
So remember, Scarlet's a vampire, so she's likely probably about 3-4 p.m. at this point.
All right, Lapis first. Let's go.
We'll go for protection, I guess.
They could kill us. I mean, we didn't do what they said. I doubt they will because they're kind of friendly, but and we did kick their ass.
So-
the time.
So Lapis, kind of takes over. I just took you all. Are you guys at the end? No, I didn't drag you down. So the page of the city of Armina. As you guys may remember, Lapis Lazuli and the Sapphire Echo have this northern part. This southern part here is with the Ruby Fang, and then these two central parts here, right here and right here, are Emerald Eye territory. So you imagine that if you go to the docks, you will find Lapis there.
We go and find
Cool.
Lapis.
Let's go to the dike.
Cool.
Oh my god, the docks.
Let's go to the day. Stop that
Chris.
water from flowing. Let's go.
I just got
Cool.
it.
I mean, the docks are rather loud and, boisterous. There's a lot of ship's crewmen throwing boxes around and blah, blah, blah. You do see Lapis with a black eye that you guys don't remember giving him, playing cards kind of in front of another tavern. right up here. He looks at you and waves, smiling to see that you're all okay.
Money.
Vix, go ahead first. Yeah,
Persuade him, Vix. With advantage, because you did actually do what he wanted.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll back her up and commend her help in the matter.
Ooh. I'm
least
gonna just stand up to him and nod and have my arms folded across my chest, like just seeing how that goes. Oh God.
He kind of actually smiles. What are we on? 15
Sorry?
gold for the day?
15.
15 gold. It was one day's work.
I mean, this is the second day you haven't seen me. It was more than one day.
Nah,
I need to spend the
I know
night
you,
with these
mercs.
guys.
He sighs, kind of laughing with. All right. How much you want?
30.
30?
Plus, I had to, so a per diem, if you will.
20 and a cask of ale.
I don't care. I don't care about y'all.
Fine, he laughs. I'll pay you 25.
Deal. Thanks.
He takes 25 from the poker chips that they're playing in the center. The two other guys he's sitting with are pretty pissed, but he laughs it off and hands it over to you.
Can I, damn. Can I try to steal more?
You imagine it would be at disadvantage, and he may not be too happy about getting shaken down.
He's literally holding his wallet in front of his face, and you want to take something from it.
I mean, I've never played a rogue before, and I have all the stealing, and so I have a plus 11. So I feel like it would be okay, but okay, I guess I won't.
All about timing.
Yeah.
He laughs, looking at the rest of the party. Glad to see you made it out alive. Ruby Fang wasn't coming. Did you take out that green guy like you needed to?
Well, about that, I wanted to make sure that we were square in that we actually ended up working things out with him, and we revealed a larger threat to him and us, and I think you as well.
This perks his interest. He asks you to go on. What threat are you talking about?
I'll explain about Boreas, and then the machines, and then what was the gnome's name?
Oisius.
Boreas, Oisius, and the mechs. And I'll nod to Vix to show him the sort of spark gem.
I show it.
He looks at it intently and goes, "Oh wow, you weren't kidding. These guys don't seem like they're pretty good folk." He kind of leans back. But I mean, if they were just dealing with the green guy and they haven't dealt with me, I don't really see how this is my issue.
Well, I imagine that when they find out that you worked with us, that may cause some trouble for you. Or rather, we worked with you. However it worked out.
He laughs and then slaps you big on the back, like Dio Croson does. And he smiles. He goes, "Don't worry about us. We take care of our own. If these metal guys come, we'll push them into the water and they'll rust out."
Just the electricity might not work. You know what? You got it.
Smart.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure that we were square. I know we didn't end up killing Durgil, but...
Hey, the only reason I helped you is because you guys proved you were good fighters. I don't care what you do with the green guy. Though I'd be a little more careful about Ruby Fang. About Scarlet over at the Ruby Fang. You know, I wasn't kidding when I said transactional. She might have sold you guys out.
Oh, she didn't come,
the
right?
boggles?
That's what it was?
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
wondering
sold
if
us to-
someone,
sold us out to who?
Laborious.
whoever would pay her,
Laborious.
just
Lesson learned, you can't trust a vampire.
just be careful. Know that she's using you as much as you are using her.
Well, I think that we're actually square, and we don't really need to go see her then, huh?
If that's how you feel. I don't hate it.
I turn to Ianto.
But listen-
Do you owe her anything still?
I suppose, considering our previous associations, it would be prudent for us to share that we think that the bronze, what's her names?
The
The
brass, knuckle.
knuckles should be a concern for the entire city, including them. And that associating with them is not a good idea.
So if she sold us out, she reneged on her part of the deal, yeah?
Not really. But still, I'm saying it's not good.
If you'll
Those are
recall,
bad people
Damien,
you're
as
talking
you're thinking, she said she would try to get there if she could.
Oh, it's like wish spell. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to see the Ruby Fang or not? I'm kind of.
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask
Oh
you
yes,
something.
go for it. Yeah.
Oh, Lapis, you like a good fight, right?
Love it.
Have you
Why,
ever
you-
heard?
Go ahead.
You ever heard of a tournament held by some silvery elves? What are they
You-
called?
You talking about the Ironfell Arena? Yeah, it's on the flying island of Osdrift. Never been myself, but I've heard some stories among the sea.
Like what?
Oh, it's not your standard arena. They expect you to actually more showcase talents, though. There is a lot of battling involved. I've heard stories of people having to race each other. I've heard stories of tug-of-war competitions. I've even heard strange stories about one-on-one fights happening simultaneously between teams. But those aren't even the weird stories that come from Osdrift. You haven't heard the weird stories?
No.
Well,
We're all like,
Yes.
fuck, we're so lame.
So, as you know, Osdrift is a floating island that kind of circles around. As you may or may not know, it is a floating island that circles around Jabrea. Though sometimes there are places where it's in the vicinity, and all of a sudden there'll be huge crashes on the ground below. People go to investigate, and all they find are body parts and strange pieces of rock.
That's not good.
Cool.
It's a dangerous place. Yeah, I'm a fighter, but even I wouldn't go up there. He's like doing that fighter thing where they like roll their shoulder a little bit
Yep.
to like loosen
Gotcha,
their
yeah.
muscles. Yeah.
I mean, if you're
to be
chicken.
honest, that place sounds awesome. We should definitely go.
If you can pay the price or find a sponsor. But hey, why, you guys thinking of going? Because I actually know somebody who sponsors people.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
fucking hook us up.
Oh,
Yeah, what's her name again? Ben's pulling up a generator. Taryn Curian. Yeah, she's an elf. She runs a small carnival outside of Slatehaven. She also helps capture animals and sell them off as beasts for the arenas.
Ooh.
So there are beasts.
Yep.
So
Oh,
it
wow.
is a furry island.
I'm refusing to acknowledge that statement.
I think that wise. I think that very wise.
You've let me in this game.
Just gonna put that in the notes for you guys.
The island of furries. It does sound pretty dangerous. I can't believe that you haven't tried your skills there.
I'm too busy running
Office, you
things over
getting-
here. Listen, I'm in charge of one of the only ports in Jabrea. Gotta make sure I get the good stuff in Armina, you know?
Yeah, you're all right, bud. Being on joining this poker game trying to steal money.
Do you want to roll? You'd have to do it at disadvantage because you're physically engaged with him.
No. I'm just debating on joining the sitting down and playing a hand of poker.
Oh
But-
gosh.
I'm not gonna do that to you. You don't sound prepared. All right. Introduce us to Tara and Kyrian.
I'll send word ahead to look out for you guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but you tend to make quite a splash wherever you grow.
Which direction should we head to meet up?
She's about 2 miles out north of Slate Haven. I'm sorry, I lied. Hold on, I gotta pull up the my map to see where she's at. Give me a second. I'm sorry, she's about 2 miles northeast of Slate Haven. There's a couple of hills and such. She's in a forest near there. You can't miss her. You can't miss her kind of hideout. The entrance is, let's just say, it's rather fiery.
So it's on fire.
Rad.
Yeah, ish.
Cool. Tight.
Great.
And what did I say her name was? Kieran something?
Taryn Kyrian?
Taryn kill him? From SNL?
Taryn Killam.
His name is Damien. Damien Jeb.
Karen Kieran. That's her name.
Oh. Thanks. Lapis.
Yeah. He waves you guys off, gets back to his poker game. If you're ever in town, I'm down for a bar fight.
Yeah, we know.
We'll definitely take you up on that. Maybe we can fight on the same side this time. So you.
Nah, man, I want to beat you up again. He's.
Oh,
You can try.
who are you,
They
Jeb?
have tried.
They did try. All right, cool. Anything else you want to talk to Lapis before you guys head off away from the docks?
I think I'm good.
Yep, maybe just I don't know. I'll buy him a round or something.
Cool. Deduct 5 copper.
All right.
Maybe he'll be nicer to you next time he sees you because you bought him a beer.
That was a nice gesture.
All right. Anything else you guys want to handle in Armina?
None of my characters drink.
We
And all
still
you
have to talk to Durgil at the very
Yeah,
least.
we'll do at least Durgil, but the Ruby Fang, yeah, no, not feeling it.
I can go
Whatever
there
you
by
guys
myself.
Are you sure? They might turn you over.
We've let you do this before, right? You always came back.
Yeah.
All right, if you want to.
You were comfortable with it. Wait, maybe you should take Vix because she hasn't met them, right?
If you'd like. We
Yeah.
can see the vampires together.
Ooh,
Don't
yeah.
you hate undead?
I don't hate. Hate's a strong word.
okay.
Also, they're not undead. We've gone through this
What?
in the other game.
Vampires are undead. Are these Dampiers?
No, they're straight up
Yeah,
vamps.
vamps are undead.
Okay.
Guys, remember when she lived in a crypt and you had to clear it out for
Yeah, she's a full vamp.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes,
cool.
I feel it might be better. Knowing your abilities, I think your presence might be valuable in that place.
Cool. She takes off the symbol of her god and just chucks it in her pocket.
So, do you guys want to do Durgil first or Scarlet first?
I mean, we
Whatever
can do
you
Durgil
guys
when you go pick
is
up your
best.
items.
I
if you
think
want, Vic.
since we basically give Durgil a deadline, that should be the last thing we do before we head out.
Cool. So, it's going to turn to nighttime. If anyone else wants to be doing downtime while we RP Eonto and Vixaris go into the Ruby drop, let me know, or the Scarlet drop. Honestly, some of these names are starting to mix together in my head.
I'll try and gamble a bit.
Cool.
I have a set of dice
you
that I'm
gonna
good
do it?
at, so.
Cool. Is that a cheating or is that a sleight of hand
Proficient
check or are
in
you?
just dice set, so just like I'm good at playing dice.
All right, I'm going to roll a straight roll and you have to beat that.
That's really bad. Let's do. What would you like me to roll with proficiency?
It's Dex unless you want to argue it being something else.
It's not wisdom. Dex is fine.
What about intelligence? Because you gotta understand the game
No, don't make it worse for
and
me.
the odds. Oh, sorry. I don't. I'm just-
Oh, mother!
Ooh.
This is a crit miss episode, dude. RP crit.
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't you glad I had no battles prepared for this?
Fuck me, man.
I'm gonna say you probably won about 15 to 20 gold off that, whoever you're playing.
Add 15 to 20 gold to myself? Hell yes.
Yeah. I'll let you choose either. I'm not picky. It can be 20. That's fine.
I'll take the higher number. Thanks.
Cool. That wasn't a whisper to me, was it? No, it wasn't.
No.
Okay, Bevy. Ianto's handing the book to you before he goes.
Just a security measure, I suppose.
The book? It's
Yeah,
the
that book.
Okay. All right. I will keep that.
I try to look as goth as possible.
There's no
Good
fantasy
idea.
hot topic, Chris.
I mean, we're basically going to the fantasy hot topic.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So, Bevy, if you want to be doing anything other than just like hanging,
I had an idea like 30 seconds ago, but I forgot. Hold on.
Cool.
I'll come back.
I'll come back to you. Cool. So the Scarlet Drop. This is probably your first time there, Chris Vixaris, because it is super undead, so it does kind of make you feel a little ooky. It's much quieter. It's much somber. Every once in a while, there's someone up here singing a piano song, but right now there's nobody. People are sitting in groups of 1 or 2 at each table, kind of huddled over themselves. Some are drinking ale. Much more of them are drinking a red liquid. While you sit there, you see kind of like a haggard urchin come in and offer their arm up to the bartender. The bartender stabs the urchin and draws blood for about 10 minutes before handing them 2 gold pieces, and the person walks out.
Oh my god.
We had to make a perception roll the last time that happened.
Yeah.
Do you smell that? Does it smell in here?
What are you talking about? Says a stranger at the
Oh, I just say
table.
that. I whisper that to Yanto, not
Oh.
loud.
Does she need to make the wisdom
Loud,
save that
you
we
know.
did when we walked in?
It's a vibe. I don't know that there's a smell.
Yeah. Sinuses are real.
You had to make the wisdom save, I think, when actually
Oh,
Scarlet
where she was
available.
performing. Yes.
Yeah.
Or yes, I should say this up front. Ale, never wine while we're here.
Not one.
Though you could sell your blood and make a profit. Just saying.
They don't want my blood.
You don't know this, but I mean, she literally drank the blood of a rat.
Yeah, but
She
You
didn't
know, I had
complain
that-
about quality, though.
She did complain about its quality.
I've dabbled with the divine. I don't think anyone wants this blood.
So what are you guys doing? You're in the Ruby. I'm assuming I'm gonna give you that info Vix, because Ianto's there. I'm sure he's just pointing it out to you. That's how I'm gonna lodge.
Yeah,
it.
I'm basically subtly, when somebody goes to the counter to do that, I like point with my head.
I'm like, oh, look at that. Okay. Looks away. Yeah.
Alright, I guess we'll tell whoever's at the bar that we want to see Scarlet.
Guy's very pale and sallow of skin. He kind of groans, and one moment. Ale or wine? He says, looking at you while you
Ale.
guys wait.
Ale.
Ale, please.
Ale.
3 copper each.
I give him 3 copper.
Cool. Eventually, you guys are drinking your bar. You're drinking your ale. Finally, a hooded figure comes out of this back area where the Ianto token is, followed by Scarlet, in her, red regalia. She's standing at the door as the hooded figure exits. And then she sees you both, and she kind of just finger gestures in and walks back inside.
Do I recognize? Would I be able to make anything out about the hooded figure?
The hooded figure is trying to hide his face, so you make a perception check in order to see anything.
So no.
So no. No crits for you. Yeah, he heads off into the distance, and Scarlet's door is now open.
Okay. I get up and tell Vixaris follow.
I nod and follow.
Cool. As you guys enter into this room, even though it's a bedroom here, it's actually an office. I'll just say this: the desk right here. Vixaris is sitting behind it, looking over some documents. She points to some chairs in front of her. Please have seat.
All right.
I sit. I
You
look
have
my
strange
eggs in
company, Tiefling, she said, looking up at you.
Yes,
You all-
this is Vixaris. One of our newer associates.
Formerly associated with Scarlet Sapphire Echo, am I correct? She says without looking up at you, Vixaris.
Yeah. But not, faithfully.
That statement actually kind of keens her interest. I see, you are mercenary for hire.
Yep. If the coin's right.
How curious, such a holy creation has such a similar ideology to me.
Holy is such a gross word, isn't it? No,
Mm,
thank you.
indeed. I am assuming, Tiefling, you have business proposition, and that is why you...
I think we need to get something straight first. What happened? We had something similar to a deal the last time we spoke. Would you care to explain yourself?
Our deal was that I would assist you in finding the eye. I assisted by telling you where's their hideout entrance. I also offered free of charge to help you if I could. And I could not, so I did not. My deal with... I will always be true to my deal, she says.
I guess, would you care to entertain me with the reason why you couldn't help us?
Make a persuasion check. I'm gonna let her contest this. Let's see if she's interested in telling you. Oop. Give me 1 sec. I have to actually pull her stats because I don't have them ready.
Always throw the DM for a loop.
Because I am pretty sure she's pretty high in persuasion as a...
Charisma?
Charisma.
Is
Is
it-
she a full vamp?
She's full on. She's the head of the organization. Vamp.
She's like the vamp, right?
Yeah.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, those are actually tied. So, let's actually do it one more time.
Oh, I mean, I'm the one
Can I
that's
help?
acting.
Well,
Alright,
I mean,
that's fine.
You could be saying the DC, and then the roller beats the DC, though. If you say that, gotta be careful.
Why don't... Yeah, I feel like we should do it again because usually what I do when there's a tie is it goes to the defense, but I'm not really sure who's the defense in this part.
That's the exact same role.
Oh, you win. I make many deals, she says. It's imperative that I stay true to all of them in my own way. Sometimes one deal cannot be held because another deal must be fulfilled.
I think this is what I feared. You haven't been associating with the brass knuckle, have you?
Associate is a strong word. I am open to all as a business. Anyone with coin is happy to purchase my services.
In that case, I'll be more specific. Was this deal in question with them that prevented you from assisting us?
Vixaris
Go
is
ahead.
going to take out 5 gold and kind of flash it and push it forward to her.
Be very careful, holy woman. You know exactly what you are doing, yes?
Purchasing some information, yes?
She smiles as she takes 5 gold.
I look beyond.
All people are my customers, Tieflink. Don't forget I assisted you without a second thought. They asked for information that I happen to have, so I gave it to them. For a price.
This is, I guess this is information I'm offering for free. They're far worse than, at least what we know of them. They're not the sort of people even you would want to be associating with.
Explain.
How much do I want to tell her?
That's up to you, dog.
Their leader is a far more powerful and malicious entity than I think anyone that I've met in my travels.
I see. I shall keep that in mind. But one would argue that you and your friends are rather dangerous as well. I did
That's
hear
fair.
of what happened at the Emerald Eyes hideout, you know.
I was under the impression that the Emerald Eye doesn't really tell the other groups what goes on with them.
The Emerald Eye is transactional in a way similar to me. Whereas I work with coin, they work with information. I give them information, they give me information. Do not be fooled, Tiefling. Both Lapis, myself, and the leader of the Emerald Eye are criminal organizations. We do not have true intentions at heart. Or, I guess, just intentions at heart.
I suppose I'm suggesting that the respective security of each of your organizations would be far better served if you kept the brass knuckle out of Armina.
I shall take your logic to heart, she says. Is there anything else you must inform me?
That's all. You confirmed what I had already suspected, and I wanted to share what we had.
I appreciate this show of good faith. If you need assistance, you know where to find me. For a
She
price,
just
of course.
stretching mid-sentence?
Yeah, she's standing up and stretching.
Oh.
Well, I am standing up and stretching, so she's doing it now.
Actually,
It's
why don't we
early
all do
morning
that?
for
We've all
her.
been sitting down for a while.
Yeah.
It was nice to meet you.
She doesn't reach out her hand because of the stink of holy that you're trying to hide, but she can still smell it.
Look, I'm trying to get rid of that smell. It's not my favorite. I know it. I know what I smell. It's a family thing. It's genetic. It's fine.
Genetic.
I wish I
know.
wish you luck, holy woman.
Ugh,
It's
don't call me that. I hate it.
I wish you luck, goth girl.
There we go.
Thank you.
I
It's
also
like when
hope that...
someone farts on you and still
Oh.
on you, and you're trying to let that fart dissipate, but it's not quite there. That's
I imagine this is
my
like
God.
Vixaris explaining to Iante what Scarlet's talking about.
yeah,
Like they're walking out, being like, "Don't worry, this is what she means."
yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright. I also hope you will forgive that I gestured to Vixaris, some added security with me.
I will
You
say this
understand
again,
my
Tieflink.
concern.
I will say this again, Tieflink. Anyone with coin is my customer. You are
Very
welcome
welcome.
to bring who you would like to my establishment.
All right.
We should bring Bevy next time. They
Bevy's
will
been here.
really
Oh,
test it.
I brought some of Bevy previously, I think, to this place.
Brought a single piece of bevy.
It was 2 pieces actually.
There's 2 pieces of bevy. All right.
Just some fucking rats. Who cares?
Is there anything else you guys want to do with Scarlet?
No, I think I got what I came here for.
Okay. Was there anything downtime wise you want for bevy?
I remembered during that conversation. While Damien is out gambling,
Yep.
I guess.
Yeah.
Dice, and I'm actually playing D&D, but
Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try
Offices and
and
bosses, right?
yeah, so yeah, houses and homes.
anywhere. Maybe I leave wherever Damien is. Go out into the street. I'm gonna try and befriend Bob. I got some cheese. I know they like that. They've been trying to steal it from me.
Cool. Make a persuasion check with advantage because you're using the cheese.
The hentai cheese, right? Just to clarify.
The hentai cheese.
Oh yeah, the funky stuff that gives off a good scent. It'll probably attract them. You said persuasion?
Yeah, you're trying to persuade one to come up to you. I imagine it being like an animal, like being like, "Come here, little squirrel."
Yep. 8.
And I'm interested to see where this goes. I'll still give it to you.
Okay. I'll just say, yeah. I'll hand him a little bit of cheese. See if he's gonna.
He says something in a language you don't quite understand because in crude Fey before he jumps up onto your shoulder and eats it, sitting on your shoulder.
I don't know what language that is at all, right? It's a Fey
Uh,
language.
Sylvan.
Okay. I'm gonna say I have that piece of paper, that emerald thing. Is that okay?
What, the emerald pendant?
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna hold it up to him and see if I see a glimmer of recognition in his eyes. I give it to him. Just see if he gets what that's about.
He eagerly takes it, and he gives you a little salute before jumping into his.
Well, I said I didn't give it to him. I said I didn't give it to him. I just held it up to him.
Okay, never mind.
See if
He
I
does-
reckon.
He does look at it, and he seems to understand what it.
All right, I'll gesture through just like exaggerated. I'll say like I'll show him I had more cheese, and I'll be like, "You stick with me, and there'll be plenty more of this, and a safe place to sleep too if you want. Just travel with me for a little while."
Oh, you're gonna have to make a DC 14 persuasion, and I'll give you advantage again if you're trying to get him as a companion.
Sure. Yeah. Ho, 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 ho.
All right, we're gonna. Have to,
The power
The
of
box-
cheese.
the boggle eats your cheese and smiles before jumping in your pouch. We'll figure out stats from later.
Hell yeah. Okay. He can go inside the suit if he wants. Probably warmer there and probably less noticeable. They're like, how big are they? It's like
Boggles are size. So, what, like 2 feet, 3 feet, maybe?
oh, that's pretty big actually. Yeah.
Maybe I've always imagined them as being like a foot tall max.
Maybe he'll buy like a backpack or something, and he can go in that. I buy a
Cool.
backpack.
Cool. Buy a
All of a sudden,
backpack.
an
and-
arrow streaks out from a nearby rooftop as Fulgar saves you from the boggle.
It was going in your things.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to do? You got one last thing. I think we can role play Durgil and then call it a night if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
It's been a role play heavy night.
Look at,
Thank you guys
look
for
at
sticking
these
with me.
crits, though. We got
Oh yeah, that's another crit
Yeah.
too. Wow,
It's
we've had a lot.
crit for Boggle, please. Yes, love it. All right, day 3. All my hit dice are back. We are good.
I counted the boggles at some point, but I can't find it in my notes. I mean the rats.
Oh yeah, Beppy's
Around like
Beppy's number of rats.
450, I
That's right,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just do one per
And
each
one
HP,
boggle.
right? Or two per each HP.
I could do that, then I'd only be 84? 84
You could do
rats?
3 or 4. You just, base it off your EXP, because more rats makes you a little thicker, a little bit more hardy.
I'm dummy thick with rats.
No!
Oh my god.
Damien, I'm trying to sneak around.
I'm too dummy thick. Ew. Ugh.
All right. So it's the morning. You guys know you have a deadline to meet with Durgil. Do you guys want to approach him, or what is your plan?
The deadline is to get the magic item, right?
Don't want to go back in the sewer. I'll hand the I'll hand a Boggle a note asking Durgil for an update.
Cool. At breakfast, you see a Boggle. You give him the note. He runs off with it. You guys are eating your breakfast. You guys talking about whatever you want to talk about. Eventually, a Boggle does show up with a note, and he hands it to you, Ianto. The note only has 2 words on it: cheese shop.
Of course.
Do they
Good
really
place.
love cheese?
No, it's their front. Basically.
Oh yeah. Okay, no. Sorry. That's where I met you. Alright. Cheese shop. Headed there.
Cool. The monger is again a stone elemental. Speaks in rock, 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 rock.
Wait, somebody understood this last time. Who was that?
I know Elemental or something.
Yep, it's elemental. He sees you guys, and all he says is aged or refined.
Oh, Primordial, that's what it is. What did you give us the last time? With the tentacles in it. I say in Primordial.
I believe that one was we decided was aged.
Yeah,
The
you know
other
what,
one, then.
actually?
You want another
Give me-
wheel of that?
Hell yeah.
Cool.
In that
It's
case,
gonna
we'll take one each.
cost you 2 gold each
Marking it off.
for a second roll of hente cheese.
That's what it's in my inventory as.
As you guys stand there, he seems to think the conversation's over, but then he looks at you. You need something?
Can we flash our symbol, please, guys? Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I pull out the pendant.
He growls. Head in the back. As you guys are walked into the back through a tent, you see different kind of cheese wheels being made, different stuff going. You know the cheese process where you gotta like leave it in water to culture and blah 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 blah.
Sure.
So you get into the back storage room where you finally see Durgil. He seems to be tinkering over a desk.
Durgil, oh, it's great to see you.
Here to collect, I assume.
Magic item, please.
He turns around and you see 2 spyglasses. He's opening up one, and you remember that crystal you ripped out of the eye, Ianto?
Yeah.
He's actually inserting it into the spyglass and sealing it back up.
Ah.
He hands you guys 2 spyglasses and explains, this is the item I've come up with you. I was very curious in how Boreas was communicating with Oisius, and so I figured I'd figure out a way to mimic that as a thank you. And he hands you guys what he likes to call the Connected Eyes, or you guys can decide a different name if you think that's stupid. And you're gonna give me 1 second because I made a picture and everything, and I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Holy fuck,
The
dedication.
Connected Eyes sounds like an eldritch horror or something.
I mean, everything
Oh, see,
about
Lacey.
everything about hente cheese and Boggles kind of is an eldritch horror, but that's just me.
I'm now seeing the theme.
Crud, where is that? Oh, there it is. Oh, I have to download it because it doesn't go straight from Google Drive to other thing. Give me a second.
Technology sucks ass, am I right?
You know, why doesn't it just do what I want it to do in my head? All right. So real talk, I came up with the name Connected Eyes, but I'm totally fine if you guys want to call them something else.
Hungry
We'll think of
eyes.
it. We'll think of something.
They are
Hungry
two
eyes.
spyglasses with a nice fancy inlay for, and they're also decked out with eyes because, you know, emerald eye and eyes. Guys, the
What do
theme
they
is eyes.
do?
Well, look at the picture. It's a description.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know it was Discord.
Ianto explains that essentially the eyes are a way for you guys to essentially communicate with people in long distances. You can keep two amongst yourselves or give one to a trusted confidant and be able to keep in touch with them very easily.
It's like a sending stone, but with but you can see through it. Like it's
Sort of.
video chat, Skype.
Basically, you use it on a reflective surface, and it connects essentially through Magic Skype.
Oh, damn. Then we should get a mirror, for sure. At least two.
So
Yeah.
it's only visual information.
Visual, if you're on the same plane of existence, auditory happens as well.
Oh. And how do you decide which one's the receiver and which one's the
Jojo explains that when one is turned on, it sends a message to the other that it's turned on, as if to alert them that the one is trying to communicate
The
with the
phone
other.
rings when
He
you call,
does-
dog. Come on.
Yeah. He does warn you, though, if you read the second to last paragraph, if Boreas has any connection to the ethereal plane, he may be able to spy in on your conversation.
Hmm.
They look like karaoke microphone.
They
Would
do
you
kinda
happen
look
to
like
know a way for us to prevent the eyes from being used to surveil us?
destroy the ethereal plane? Durgel kind of jests. I will say, I mean, if you gain a connection to the ethereal plane, you might be able to also spy on Boreas.
Oh. I guess if we keep them somewhere dark, they won't be able to see through, right?
So no, if you read any creature in the ethereal near either eye, when it is activated, can see and hear both sides of the conversation. That's what he's talking about. If you use this to converse with someone, and someone is next to you in the ethereal plane, they overhear your conversation.
Oh, okay. I see.
What are the chances that he'd be looking in on us? He's probably off doing some crazy magic stuff.
There's got to be at least 4 other adventuring parties also on this jam. He could be watching one of them.
Good point. Could be.
Yes, you know
And
that book that we're all
12
talking about, how there's probably 4 other parties with the book that there's only one
Yeah.
of.
We also
Well,
he's
they're trying
probably
to get
also
that.
almost evaporated a bunch of other people, I'm sure.
Maybe there's some other fortune seekers, though. I mean, it's a fable. It's like a common fable,
No,
right?
it's certainly
Yeah,
possible.
that's a good point.
It's certainly possible.
That is a good point. So yeah, decide amongst yourselves who gets the connected eyes. It also acts as a spyglass. I don't know if that's
Does
important to
Blink
you.
take you to the ethereal
I'm-
plane
Temporarily.
for like 6 seconds?
Yeah.
In and out, yeah.
What if we
I'll,
What if we kept one for ourselves and we gave another to Avina? She's not much of a fighter. She can't come with us to this floating city.
Or Dr. Roscoe.
I don't know.
I trust
Dr.
Avina a
Roscoe
little
seemed
bit more.
reputable.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good idea to give one of them to Avina.
We have a connection to the Sapphire Echo through our contact to the floating city and the turn. I don't think we need to be in contact with the Scarlet Fang, right? That's what.
Nah, they're
Or-
kind of...
The Ruby
That's-
Fang.
The
They
Ruby
kinda suck.
Fang.
Yeah, I'm okay with not being as close to. Are you okay with that? I know they're your friends.
No, I think we have an understanding that doesn't require regular communication.
Okay. And we can keep in contact with this guy right here. And I show them the boggle I got in my backpack. Check it out. He likes me.
Oh, you're keeping one.
Yeah, I figure we can use this to, you know, if we need to send a message.
Durgil explains probably, yeah, but if you're on a floating island, there's no way the boggles will be able to get to him.
Is it like a night crawler thing, or they have to like see kind of where they're?
They can
Nope.
teleport about, like, I think it's 20 or 40 feet, but a flying city kind of, that doesn't work for it, you know?
All right, you know what? This one, I don't know. He likes the same cheeses. I'm keeping it. Regardless, okay, my idea wasn't great, but
If you are on land, he will easily be able to.
okay, we put a parachute on his back and toss him off if things go south, and then he sends you.
Durgil says, anything else I can do for you? Any other?
I think I'm good.
Why were you spying on us still?
I suppose it would do well for me to be transparent with someone as powerful as yourselves. Do you think that's true, Damien?
I mean, we're strong, but we're not that strong. I would like you to be transparent. Yeah.
Take it we're developing a bit of a reputation.
Well, that, and I was actually asked by you to spy on Vixaris.
I don't remember that at all.
He's staring at Ianto.
Oh.
What?
I swear, like half of Viento's game happens behind the scenes.
You were sent to spy on me?
Ianto made mention that somebody had been going through his belongings at the bathhouse, and he asked me to look into it. One of my boggles happened to witness you, Vixaris, going through his items.
Oh, was that the little bastard that was watching me in the pub?
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw him. Oh yeah, you never told me what Ianto had, so whatever.
Wait, what?
I wanted to go through his things, and you never had me roll anything.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I assumed because I thought you thought we were by yourself.
No,
Being
go
confident.
on. You didn't. Okay, what were you looking for exactly?
All right. So first of all, I was bored. I just wanted to know who I was meeting, and when you said that you were talking to yourself in the bar, I didn't believe you. And you seem like you're kind of shady. So I've just kind of been looking into you. She's smile. my free
Durgil pipes up because she also bribed Madame A to disclose the discussion you had
Hey.
with her.
I didn't get to do one perception check to see if someone was watching me.
Passive
You-
perception,
they were-
baby.
Passive perception's a thing,
Uh,
Vixaris. You have to actively say you want to do perception.
I'm
Okay,
only a
I'll-
level 2 rogue.
Address Virgil again. I take it this is you making good on my request.
He does a little curtsy.
In that case, I don't really have anyone to worry about then. Well, we as a party might not, you know?
I guess I might be the biggest threat to our party.
No, it was funny. For like the past week and a half, you guys have bring to me about each other. Like, all right, let's play this out.
I actually figured, but I thought it would be more interesting if I explored these suspicions. Because I think at some point, Christine meant to send a DM, but
Yeah, but she sent it in the
accidentally didn't,
and just,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Or you said it out loud instead of DMing it to me or something. I don't know.
So where exactly is it you are heading? Turtle asks.
You've helped us out. Our next step is to go. What town are we visiting again? The
We're meeting one of
Lapiz's.
Lapiz's associates.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
It's gonna be a huge fight. Races too. tons of tests of skill. It's gonna be great.
Ah, Ironval. Well, good luck with that.
Do you know anything?
Not much. I know a little bit about Cinderwisp and Armina. That's all I really know.
All right. Well, you've been a huge help.
He bows again.
Did out of character, Jacob? Did you already ask him about being made like you are?
You know, I didn't ask actually.
I know you weren't here the session where we like really engaged with him the first time, so that's why I wanted to make sure.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Do you mind if I ask you how you came to be? I know that's intensely personal.
First he asks you to probably explain a little bit about what you know, how you operate. You don't have to RP it. You can just tell me whether or not you are open with that info.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think he's the closest thing to a kin that I've ever seen of a race similar to mine.
He says that unfortunately there is one major difference between the two. Makes you a completely different race. When he opens up his mask, a single boggle pops out with a kind of horn-like protrusion. The minute that boggle kind of steps out from the rest, the form kind of dissipates. From what I can tell about you, Bevy, you don't seem to have, what would you call, a core rat or boggle. But you see,
No.
I am both singular and plural. I am Durgil, and this is my body.
But
He's a
Bevy
boggle.
has heart.
I have many. Lots. Several hundred.
Though I will say, I have met one other like you.
Oh? Oh?
Yes. It was rather brief at my time at Cinderwisp Forest.
Oh. Oh. Cinderwisp?
Cinderwisp. Although it wasn't a creation of rats, I believe it was some kind of insect had formed itself. The creature was very fast and very deadly. Killed many, many, many of my kind. I was lucky to escape.
There are more of you?
I
Durgil?
Well,
Boggles.
the Boggles and the Feywilds run Cinderwisp Forest for the most part.
Oh, we
Yeah,
were
but not, like-
told that the story behind the Boggles in Armina was they'd come from the Cinderwisp Forest.
Yes, we were banished, so to speak.
This is a crazy idea, but you're you're a fae, right?
Boggles are fey creatures, yes.
So you speak Sylvan, right?
I do.
Could you, I don't think I can't learn things that quickly, but could you teach one of us that language or give us a book? Like beginners.
Unfortunately, a book doesn't exist, but should you find yourself in Armina, I'm sure you could have downtime. Basic understanding of the language.
Alright, one more question. Can Boggles understand Common? Because I've been talking to this one and I'm not sure he gets everything.
Unfortunately, Boggles only understands Sylvan. He points again at his horn-like protrusion. I'm quite an exception of my kind.
Oh,
What are you
I
leading
speak
them?
Sylvan.
Oh,
You do?
Yeah, I'm half elf.
Oh, there you go.
I speak to that one. I say hello, Boggle.
He goes, "Nice to meet you," and then he does a little butt dance.
But
Oh, great. You want half a hard-boiled egg? I
He,
offer
God.
a
he
piece of
sniffs it.
hard-
he sniffs it. He takes it. He nibbles on it. He doesn't like it. He throws it back at you.
What, you vegan?
Me want cheese. Me want tentacle cheese.
Oh, you want the hentai? Anyone got a say in common hentai cheese?
Oh. Yep. Yep, here you go.
Okay. He likes hentai cheese.
A little
Oh,
heart comes
I
out of
do
the top
that.
of his head. Little heart comes out of the top of his head as he's nibbling on it.
I think I'm gonna name you Fremont.
Let do for mine.
Oh, I'm sorry, Becky. You can name Yeah, you can name your own boggle, but I'm
Yeah,
calling
Christine,
it
stop naming Jacob's familiars.
Hey, I don't care. I was just gonna call him Boggle. That's good. What was it?
Fromage. It means cheese in French. I mean in
What?
Sylvan.
Oh,
French.
it's the French language. Okay. I can deal with that. All right. That's a good name.
This French, is this an ancient tongue?
Anything else I can do for you?
Not unless you want to come with us. I feel like I get the raw end of the deal with this Boggle. If you're like a 1 in a million Boggle.
Unfortunately, I'm needed here to maintain the Emerald Eye.
Fair enough.
But if you do give your other connected eye to Avina, please pass off your pendant as well. Of course, I could always talk to you that way.
So
Wait, we can use the
give-
pendant to talk to you?
No, but if you give Avina the pendant, she can call Virgil, and then he walk in on your Skype conversation or whatever.
Hey, can I join your phone plan?
Oh, you have access to the ethereal plane?
No, but like if Avina's not going to go with you guys to Ostra, stay in Armina, she can just call on Durgil and then use the connected eye while Durgil's in the room, and Durgil can look at the mirror and then talk to you.
Yeah, we should probably ask Avina how she feels about where she's going.
She's
I
probably
feel like
gonna
we're
stay
making all
here,
these
right?
decisions for her.
Yeah, she's not going anywhere. We keep one of the eyes. We give an eye to her so we can talk to her and keep her updated on what's going on. And then she has the pendant, and she'll contact Boggle if she needs to talk to the Emerald Eye. That makes sense?
She check in on Dr. Roscoe too, and he can give us updates on his situation.
Also a good idea.
We'll check in before we leave that he's doing better, but they're already associates, so
I know. So when we check in on her,
Yeah.
she can.
She'll
give us
be our
updates.
contact in a major city, I guess, right? She'll be the hub, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. She's like the most capable person right now.
Well, the most
Most
capable
trusted.
non-strong person.
yeah, but I thought she also likes to travel, so
Well, let's ask her. We should ask her.
Cool. Are you guys done with Durgil?
Yeah, you can put him away.
Cool.
Bye, Durgil.
Durgil
Then
sees you
playing
off
with
and you
you.
guys head to the cheese shop. You guys are gearing yourselves up. Avina comes in. She does say would rather not go to Osdrift Arena. She'll stay behind with Dr. Roscoe and try to research anything she can about the seal system, if she can find extra information.
I'll give her the pendant, tell her about Durgil, and how helpful he's been. If we have any need to contact him, just, hand this to him, Bob. It looks just like this, and I grab that one by the scruff. And
She smiles and goes, she's a little confused, but she's like, all right. And I guess you guys give her the connected eye as well.
Yep. Oh,
Cool. She keeps one in her pocket so that you guys can call on her to know.
And we're not gonna be here to protect you, so just keep a low profile. I know you can do that.
I'll spend most of my time in Roscoe's study. It would be wisest.
All right, and keep an eye on him. He's the book did some things to him.
yeah. If you could check in that he's
Damien
doing
eyes
better
Ianto
now that
warily.
we're- Now that we've taken it from him again.
I'll definitely keep an eye on, make sure he does okay. And I think that's about all you guys wanted to do, right? Or is there any?
Yeah.
I think that's got to be it. I think we did it. I think we beat the game.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a D&D. I think it is 11 o'clock, so there's a lot of RP, and thanks for sticking with it and being interested in time.
I love
Right,
RP.
this is the first D&D I've gotten in literally weeks.
Yeah.
I haven't even been watching Critical Role. That's how busy I've been. I'm like
Oh my
several weeks
God.
behind.
It was a good one last week.
It was Another friend sent me Sam's costume from the live show. And
Oh, it was so good.
I don't know how he did it, but he one-upped himself. It's gonna be his death.
I loved Laura's costume.
Are they all doing something? Okay, I gotta check it out. I'll
Yeah,
have
they-
more time pretty soon.
They had a theme.
All right.
Alright.
Jacob, over these next 2 weeks, we'll figure out what rules are for your boggle friend. Is he a familiar? Is he an animal companion? What's going on there?
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. My cat's licking my finger right now. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with a heavy RP set. We're ending with you guys exiting Armina and heading off the station.
Do we need to get supplies? I'm just kidding. We can take that next time.
Yeah. I gotta go to bed. I'm sleepy.
Yeah, I am also very tired. Hope you guys had
That was
fun.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks